We've actually added a second-story addition to the house, and we made some changes on the main floor.
We decided not to hire a contractor.
You were the general contractors on this.
Everything was running very, very smoothly until the last person that we hired.
And his crew that he was working with were on the job for 2 months.
We have a draft, big-time draft.
This is not a professional contractor.
Unfinished bathroom?
Yes, unfinished.
It's not done.
He took his men, his crew, and he walked straight out the front door.
Now we're here. And we're gonna finish it. Mike Holmes.
Look at this. Is that garbage or what? Look, you buggers, they haven't vented anything. This is ridiculous.
Everything is wrong. I've decided now to gut it. Take it all down.
Mike Holmes, I love you.
Me too.
You want a good job to keep you in shape? Be a contractor.
Unacceptable.
God, I love my job.
We love this neighborhood. Yeah, it's lovely. It's great for the kids. Good schools, walk to the park. Yeah, good neighborhood. But 2 kids, 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms. It's pretty hard, 4 people using 1 bathroom. We just needed more space.
Yeah. We actually added a second-story addition, a full 1,400 square feet approximately. We went and actually bought a software program and designed the layout ourselves over a period of 3 years, maybe.
3 years, yeah.
Through trial and error.
We decided not to hire a contractor because
Yes.
a lot of them we just didn't trust.
Everybody's become a contractor overnight, and so we were a little skeptical from that perspective. And knowing that the workmanship has suffered, we didn't want to, in all honesty, we didn't want to end up on the Mike Holmes show. That was our goal. I want to do this right the first time.
We wanted to do it right, so we did. We researched, we learned, we talked to people.
Right from what framers they should use, electricians, plumbers, how it should be done, foam and stucco, thickness, they educated themselves. My hat's off to them. So well done.
First the architect, then the demolition guys came in, demolished it, took them, they said 3 days, it took them 1 day extra, 4. They were out of here, great job. Framers came in, great people, excellent job.
We didn't have problems with any of the generals at all.
No, they were really good.
However, there are some problems.
Hello, Kristy. Hello, Ron.
Hello, how are
nice
you?
to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's take a look.
The last contractor, insulation, vapor barrier, drywall, finishing of doors and trim, came in.
For this particular person that we hired, he was the only one that we did not sign a contract with.
No paper trail, no contract, friend of a friend. 3 bad things right there.
I won't sign the contract, he said. I believe in trust. And I heard those words, and I did have the little bell go off. That's not what we should be doing. I did. It went off. But we liked him. We thought he could do it. And yeah, we let our guard down.
What have you done here?
We've actually added a second-story addition to the house, and we made some changes on the main floor. Removed the wall here and there, and removed some windows and put some doors.
We had no problems with structure. We have permits.
We have everything in place.
Yeah, we've done it right. We listened to you. We followed the process. Everything I think has been done pretty well up until the finishing.
This is our new family room here. It used to be 2 separate bedrooms. We've torn down a wall here, and we went higher with the ceiling.
Okay. What's that pipe?
There used to be a radiator here because where these doors are now, there used to be a window.
What were you going to do? Put a step in here?
Yes.
That should have actually been run downstairs, so we'll look into that. This is a cold wall. Has this been insulated?
The only insulation we have on the main floor is exterior stucco with 2 and 3 inch foam.
Okay, now that's good, but I would have definitely insulated this. It doesn't feel like it's been insulated. What is these 2 holes here?
This is actually a deck upstairs, above us.
Okay.
And it's not insulated properly, so those pipes actually froze on us. 3 weeks into it, we started to hit these problems where we started to upcharge us, and things got a little rough, needless to say.
Heated.
Yeah.
He was grumpy because he was doing work that he didn't think that he should do. And honestly, that in itself was hard because to have a grumpy crew in your house, it was very miserable.
We fired him at that point. We
yes.
fired him. Then he sort of backed down and said, okay, guys, let's work something out. I know we can work something out. So we did. We ended up giving him a little bit more money. We believe in people. we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We had a good experience with all the other contractors.
You were the general contractors on this, and you've called in everybody that was necessary, had no problems right until the end.
That's
Correct.
right. Everything was running very, very smoothly until the last person that we hired.
Why is it that a contractor can come in and throw everything right out of whack?
So we have new poplar trim around the windows, but we're keeping all the old baseboard. So how do you go new and old? To me, it doesn't work.
Trim does not match. We're talking old to new.
When
Oh,
he
he's
put the trim
pieced
in,
it.
he's pieced it in at the bottom. So it's shoddy work.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do that because the lengths, they were long enough to make the run. I started to question his crew, asking him, how long you been doing this and stuff like that. I found out he had 15 years experience, and his crew that he was working with were on the job for 2 months. So he promised me we'd have professional people doing their trade. And meanwhile, I have a gentleman who's come out of the back of a factory as a stock boy, sanding my floors that I'm paying professional rates for.
We have a lot of damage on your treads.
Yeah.
Tons. They dropped things.
They dropped tools. They actually stained the stairs before they were finished drywalling. And it should be one of the last processes.
There
but
you
we
are
weren't
correct.
told.
It
We
should be
weren't
one of the
told.
last. It's the last thing to do. We want to keep them protected till the job's done and then finish this last.
I want the job done based on the amount of money I paid. If I paid you $2, give me a $2 job. But if I pay you pro rates, give me a pro job, please. He was supposed to progressively work down from the top to the bottom so that we could live upstairs. Then as he was coming down the staircase, he said, "To heck with this, I'm just starting to tear down the main floor." So he essentially pinned us into one corner, one room in our house. So we were living, with 2 kids in a bed on the floor in one room with drywall dust everywhere.
This is not a professional contractor. This is somebody that really is out for the money.
We haven't finished the doors yet. At least the film's still on the doors, so that's good. I'm glad of that. Unfinished bathroom?
Yes, unfinished.
So did he drywall this?
He drywalled
He
it.
did.
And
Only
taped it.
compound. We're already cracking in the corners.
Yeah.
It's only compound. It's not sheetrock. Did you install this piece or the contractor?
Contractor.
Well, I want to see that down to the floor because what are they going to do? Try and piece in a new section at the bottom and drill a bunch of screws into it and actually pierce the membrane right to the floor? He's not even right to the floor anywhere here.
No.
I said to him, I need my life back. I need you to tell me when this is going to be finished.
Oh, don't worry, Ron. Before Christmas, 100% of everything's going to be done. This place is going to be spotless, and you're not even going to know I was here.
He promised it to be done by Christmas. That was a couple months ago. It's not done.
Any other major problems up here? Another bathroom.
One more bathroom, unfinished.
So why put the trim in first? This makes no sense to me. What are you going to do? It's like you want ceramic tile, right? Or a nice tile?
Tile, yes.
Well, you put the trim in last, so you're right down on top of the tile. It's too hard to try and maneuver and put in your pieces on the outside. There's no support at the lips of the tub whatsoever. So as soon as you're in the tub and you fill the water, like it's a big tub, so yourself and the water in there is going to sink it down. So it's going to break the seal to the tile. That'll have to be addressed.
Mike Holmes repeatedly on every show, he always says, get contracts, make sure they're certified, get your permits. We were following the Mike Holmes Bible, if you will, to verbatim until this last guy came and we got burnt.
So tell me a bit about this. Like, what has happened? Did he just run? Did he take your money?
I started to walk around the house, show him the deficiencies because I had an opportunity over Christmas to make a list. I'm going through this extensive list with him, and every deficiency I point out, he's making an excuse for, like it's not his fault.
He knew it was his fault. He knew.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to fix them. He basically said, I'm going to give this job 4 days. If I don't finish it in 4 days, I'm walking away.
He said prioritize the list.
Prioritize
and by
the
the way,
list.
give me the money up front. Whatever I get done in 4 days, I get done. If I don't, I'm sorry.
He wanted his money up full.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
You didn't do it.
No, we didn't.
Good for you.
And lo and behold, when
what we
he
are.
didn't get his money up front, he took his men, his crew, and he walked straight out the front door. Now we're in a dilemma because he's actually made some pretty big mistakes. So we've paid for him most of his job, but now we have to get these mistakes fixed.
This is our nightmare that we've had in the past couple of weeks with the cold temperatures. We've lost radiator pipe right here.
What do you want to do? Hook this up?
Yeah, we want to hook it up to get some heat in here.
This is the living room and kitchen.
Yes, it is.
Did anybody say to you we should pull the ceiling down and spray foam the whole thing to keep it warm and help
No.
keep that temperature in?
No one's ever said that.
It should have been suggested, and I can't let it go. This will come down. We'll spray foam all of this.
We're gonna open it up, we're gonna do some inspections, we're gonna rip down all the trim, and we're gonna do it again. We're gonna finish the 2 bathrooms, fix up all the imperfections within the home, and we're gonna paint it. And then it'll be done. And we're gonna have some very happy people here.
The last month, our son came up to us and he said, "Daddy, you don't play with me much anymore." And that killed me.
I was trying to paint on the weekends, and you were trying to fix this man's mistakes.
We weren't spending much time with the kids.
We didn't
Bottom
have our
line,
family.
they suffered.
They suffered,
Yeah.
And we built the house for them.
Exactly.
And now they're the ones suffering. We just want our lives back.
We have a draft, big time draft.
There's the end of the plastic, right? Right there. There it is there.
You were the general contractors on this.
Everything was running very, very smoothly until the last person that we hired.
So we have new poplar trim, but you have a lot of existing trim.
Trim does not match.
This is cold wall.
Now we have to get these mistakes fixed.
I don't like the old trim with the new, so we're gonna start by taking out all the old trim right throughout the whole downstairs casing, baseboard, redo it. I do want to inspect this back wall because it's a very cold wall. We've had a pipe burst in this area. Ooh, feel that breeze. We have 2 inches of foam on the outside, and this wall is cold, which tells me there's more than likely no insulation in here. Obviously, there used to be a rad here, and my guess is a rad with a window. They dropped the window and put in a back door, deleted the backyard.
So instead of relocating this down to the basement or whatever, they decided to loop it around and...
That's correct. We'll see if we can't reroute that downstairs. If we can't, we'll just have to go with it and close it in.
This is below the hardwood, so we want to make sure we come up with it so that it doesn't scratch the floor. What they've done is, the baseboard that we just took off of here, they didn't take it off before they put the hardwood floor in. So, and then when they went up against this baseboard, they still left a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch for expansion. But now that we've removed the baseboard, which is another 1/2 inch, look what we have here. That's going to be a tough run, even with the baseboard and 1/4 round, to fill that gap. So I guess they're just too lazy to take the baseboard off. Oh boy, that's a big gap. 1 3/8.
Let's just see if there's insulation in this wall. No insulation. No wonder we had a freezing in here. The cool draft was getting in and freezing it. They've just done repairs. I was incorrect. This is not new drywall. This is old drywall with plaster over top. So what do? You know, do I take this wall down and insulate it when this wall's not?
We have a draft, big time draft.
Oh, it's coming up the wall. They vapor barriered, and there's nothing sealing it to the outside, so the cool draft's coming up the wall, coming across the ceiling, and that's why it froze the pipes. So obviously, the pipes froze, somebody came back, opened up this area, fixed the pipe, and stuck in some insulation and stopped the draft. Problem is the draft's coming from over here, that I feel, big time. If you could feel the breeze that I feel, you would not believe it. There's the end of the plastic, right? Yeah. Right there. There it is there. So it's not tied into anything. It's not taped off. It's not even caulking against the wall to stop the airflow from coming up the wall where this is not insulated. I would love to take this wall down, but if I take this wall down, I'm gonna have to take this wall down, I'm gonna have to take that wall down, I'm gonna have to take out every outside wall. I cannot demo this whole house. You know, they've already gone through enough on their own, and this should have been done in the first place. So what I am gonna do is I will pull down the ceiling, I'm gonna pull out all this bad insulation, all this 6 mil that's up there. The important part is to hit this area here with spray foam. That will seal that area and stop any airflow from existing getting up to the top. So I want to spray foam this corner to protect the pipes. I want to spray foam the outside because that's one cool draft in there. Oh, there's something I don't want to see.
What do you got there?
We have a junction of electrical hidden in the wall there. Man, I don't want to see a box like that there. We have about a 24-inch overhang on the deck upstairs. You can see the void right there. So here's where we're getting our cold. It's not just from up the wall. The soffit's right there.
That's right.
That soffit's coming up and just firing it in here. I got some pictures here. It's nice to see homeowners that take pictures.
Yeah.
Right beneath us here,
Yeah.
where the hot water furnace is.
Somebody ran pipes on the outside of the wall.
And why? That's the whole question. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
In an uninsulated wall.
I think this is for the new heating system upstairs. So rather than bring it out through the other area where they had wood out to pull down some ceiling and affect the downstairs, they came
took
directly out.
Path of least resistance.
That never should have been run on the outside wall. Obviously, we're gonna have to reroute this. Or spray foam it, and you take everything. Hopefully we can actually keep it there and spray foam it.
They both called me, the two of them. They said, whatever you do, you have to insulate that really well. That's what
You
they
have
said.
to insulate.
Yeah. That is what they
Bring your
said.
2 little kids along and they'll help you.
That actually is exactly what happened. I was home, Ron was at work, they called me. You have to insulate that, yes.
God, I hope I don't find any more of these surprises here, because this is supposed to be a fun, exciting, easy job. Thanks, Keith, for coming in and giving us a hand today. I think we're gonna need it. Here's the vapor barrier that comes down. So all they've done was tuck it across. It's not tied into anything, doesn't go anywhere. No wonder it froze.
Yeah.
This line runs right down the wall, what I thought.
Right down the wall.
So let's open this up, 12 inches down, right across. Okay? This area is the one I'm worried about. It's the one that will cool upstairs. It'll do everything if it's not insulated properly. We see no insulation. To go to the extreme of running plumbing within the wall and not insulating this zone is ludicrous. We have to protect the plumbing. How far do I have to go? We'll see.
We're gonna start getting the ceiling down here. And it's not gonna be easy because, look, it's wire, mesh, and parts. So, you know, they're strong, tough ceilings. A lot stronger than drywall. It's not gonna just pull down. It'll take some grunting, that's for sure. Yesterday we had Alex in from insulation, and this is the kitchen over top. So what we're gonna do is have him spray foam it and try and warm up the kitchen upstairs. This old drywall, I think it's like 60s. It came out, and it came in 2x8s, I think. Eh, Keith? Remember the old stuff? Something like that. So I've gone over with that, and then they've parged directly over. I thought it was wire mesh, because we see wire mesh here. And if it was that, it would have been hard to get down. Yeah. Really difficult. So this is good. This will come down easy.
Yeah.
The important part is to hit this area here with spray foam. I want to spray foam this corner to protect the pipes. I want to spray foam the outside.
And this is the kitchen over top. So what we're gonna do is have him spray foam it and try and warm up the kitchen upstairs.
Alex! What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, real good now that you're here. Obviously, this was open right up and just allowing the cool air to get right in underneath the whole living room. And this is the kitchen right here, right?
Yep.
I can't believe this wasn't addressed in the first place.
Well, I can't believe it hasn't been addressed over the 30-some-odd years the house has been here. I mean,
Well, they had a rad here, so
yeah,
it
but
was.
that's only a little rad to heat a big space, and if you have no insulation on the outside wall, you know.
Well, they disconnected it, and then it froze all the pipes here.
And if they park a vehicle in here and heat her up, you know, carbon monoxide's going through the whole house. There's no stopping it here.
Point.
That'll be
Anything
good.
else?
Nope. I think we're good to go.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's do it. Thank you.
Derek, we're gonna spray these joist ends here, stuff them with a bat, give them a good inch of foam just to seal them up so there's no stuffs on that carbon monoxide getting into the house. 3.5 inches on the floor, R25. We really want to seal this joist end off because there's heat pipes right here and there is no insulation on that outside wall. So we're gonna try to contain a little bit of that air leakage right there. And that's it.
Oh, Dan. Guess we'll start in this one here. Really what I need from you today is to get the taps in place, the faucets, shower heads. I'm hoping we can close off the shower stall and get going on the tile.
Okay. Your main concern is just the shower valves to get these ready. The 2 showers for today.
Yep. Well, once Dan has finished all the plumbing in both bathrooms, then I'll be able to get the concrete board up, the watertight membrane, and so by tomorrow, we should be ready to tile. Benji's making some beautiful rad covers to hide the rads downstairs. It's a lot better than the metal, and it still allows the heat to get out.
Yeah, and you can barely see the rad back there. That's what's nice about it. You paint that up the same as a trim. It's a lot nicer looking than that wire mesh crap that they've got.
Now, Dan, obviously there was a rad here before. There used to be a window. They'd cut it out, put in a door, and I suppose this is their idea of tying it back in.
He took the rad out that was this high here, and you know what? Good for him that he roughed it out. So he put one of those low-end rads that you see in apartment buildings with the coils. And so he wanted to put one there.
Actually, this is finished. There was going to be nothing else. The idea was to tie the cycle back in. That's it. The idea,
So he
believe
made-
it or not, they were going to build a tread that opens up, nice squeaky step, that opens up so they could get to the valve if they ever had to bleed it.
If you want to make a step here and put a grate here, you can keep the rad. You can put a rad in here.
Okay, so since we have to shut the system down to hook up the rad in the garage,
Right?
we might as well change this.
Might as well. It's here.
So you can go ahead and do it any way you want, and I'll build around it, and I'll screen the front.
Okay. Okay, I'll get one then.
Good idea.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem, Mike.
We're adding spray foam in the ceiling to keep really the pipes from freezing, also to stop the draft from getting upstairs.
We have a lot of damage on your treads.
They actually stained the stairs before they were finished drywall.
It should be one of the last. That's the last thing to do. We want to keep them protected till the job's done, and then finish this last. How you doing, Walter?
Hi, Mike.
Nice to see you again, sir.
Nice to see you.
Well, I guess you've already taken it up.
It looks like you've added some glue, that's a good idea, and nailed it, which the other guys did not. What else have you done?
And put little tongue between hardwood.
Oh, you created a tongue?
Yes.
Okay, so there was no tongue.
Was no tongue.
Oh, that's not smart. Okay, so I guess now we'll just try and sand it down, try to do a stain match to it to make it work with the existing. Hey guys, everybody watch this bullnose, eh? Don't step on it, on the stairs.
I like slate tile. It's a beautiful tile. It's easy to work with if you know what you're doing. If you have experience with this type of tile, it's not really difficult to put in. Common sense. We have two different slate tiles going in here. We're gonna put one row of rustic around the bottom, and then above that is gonna be 3 rows of black ebony slate, and then on top of those 3 rows is gonna be a 2-inch strip of rustic that runs from wall to wall to make it look like a border, and then above that is going to continue with the black ebony slate tile right to the ceiling. And the floor is going to be 4-inch rustic and 4-inch ebony black in a checkerboard pattern to tie in the rest of the walls with the floor as well as the ceiling. And then we're going to have 3/4-inch rustic borders going around the jamb and the sills for the shower to tie everything in.
Yesterday, Dan was in here and installed this heater. Before this, they just had pipes going across it, so Dan put the heater in. So what we had to do was come up with a solution to still have a step here, but to have a grill to allow the heat to escape. So what I've done is I've come up with this little concoction here that I think is going to work. This is a 2x10, and I've made some grills for the front that open up, and they got little louvers on them. This is a support for the front that's going to support the louvers. And this back part here is going to bear the weight of the back of the 2x10. So I'm just going to stick some glue on this. This is an ingenious design. All right. And now I'm going to give it a couple shots. So basically what I've done here is I left a loose fit on them, and it allows removability of them. Or if they don't want to, they can direct the flow of the heat just simply by opening and closing the louvers. And then if they ever need to remove it or get at it, the plumber had to repair, they can just open it up there. There's a shut-off valve there with the bleeder. So, you know, aesthetically it looks pleasing and still allows heat to escape. I think it looks nice.
Anyway, we're underneath the kitchen here. Spray foamed the garage, and just to heat it up a bit, they had frozen pipes in here, and the rads were disconnected. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook this rad back up. What we'll do is we'll get some heat in this garage, so just make it a little bit more warm. What happened when they did the addition is they had radiant heating in here, and what it is they have rads all over the house, and they give a supply pipe coming from a boiler and a return pipe. The supply pipe is pumping hot water through each rad, and it's going through all these coils, and it heats this rad up, and then it goes back to the boiler and it's a little bit cooler, and so it just keeps, with a pump system, it keeps rotating the water through the system, so you'll always have hot water coming through the rad, and it heats the house up nice. Okay, we're done now. We're just gonna turn on the supply. We should have some air come out this bleeder here. We're waiting water to come out of here. I can feel the air right now. You can hear it. And once water fills up in the rad and comes out, and we know it's filled with water, and then we could open the return and let it start flowing through. If you have air in here, you'll get an airlock and the water won't flow. There we go. And that's it. We'll let this flow around in about 20 minutes. Should get hot. And hopefully heat up this garage a little bit, won't have that freezing problem anymore.
We're spraying all the trim today. You know, Ben's installed all this nice poplar, so we wanted to have a good, smooth, even finish, so I decided to spray it. Obviously, once we taped off the room, it's tremendously quick to spray. It's, 10 times quicker. I'll be around this room in about 15 minutes. We're gonna put 3 coats on, 1 today, 2 finish coats tomorrow, a light sand in between each. It's gonna look great. It's gonna look like glass.
Tight fit?
Yeah, this particular one, yeah. I guess the ceiling's a little
bowed.
A little bowed, because I did leave 1/8 of an inch. But it's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. It's nice that we're getting this closed up again. Oh, we got a little helper here. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. Hey, hello, buddy.
Good.
We have a relationship here, I can tell.
Yeah, it's my young son.
He's your son?
Yeah.
All right, I like sons coming on the job site. You're just keeping it clean so we don't damage the floor?
Absolutely.
Way to go. What's up, Keith? What are we doing? We getting ready to turn them all?
Yeah, I'm just getting ahead of Ben so I can get my straight line relatively anyways.
That would be good if we get this done today and get a coat on it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need. Kristy, come on in. As you can see, we have really dusted your place.
Yeah,
I think
good.
we've turned it into a total work zone, and I'm
War
sorry.
zone.
The bathroom's upstairs for me with the slate. It's gorgeous. Okay, I do not want to rush this, and I'm not going to rush this. I absolutely refuse to do it. We try to do our damnedest to make sure that we do it efficiently, and we do it on time.
Yeah.
But I need another week.
That's okay. I'm relieved to hear you say that because I'm looking at this house and I couldn't imagine how you could finish it by tomorrow. So no, fine, a week, done. It's yours.
Let's take a breath. Let's relax a minute, and let's do what we do best, and that's do it right.
For sure.
So if it takes another week, I always say it takes what it takes. It's not like we, need 8 months here. We just need another week.
Mike, it's yours. Take another week. It's getting done right, and that's the most important thing of all.
Well, then I feel good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk.
I really don't care how long it takes at this point. We've been at this for 9 months. What is an extra week? That's nothing. It's nothing. All I care about at the end of the day is that this whole thing is done right.
So you have 2 different slate tiles going in here. I like slate tile. It's a beautiful tile. It's easy to work with if you know what you're doing.
All right. Okay, the new tub's in, framed. Getting ready to close this all in. Look at this slate tile floor. Oh, I love it. We've got that pattern right. Nice little echoed pattern. They're gonna do a full piece across the tub here. I'm all excited about that. Stan has gone crazy getting the slate in the shower stall. Oh, that looks good. We got a checkered pattern on the ceiling. Nice little detail edging across the center. Black, light up the floor. Oh, and we're gonna have a slate jam in here, not marble, so this is gonna look really good. We have 2 bathrooms here, so we're trying to complete this one first.
This is a slate slab with 4 diamond inserts glued onto the front of it for the skirt of this tub. And what we've done is we've put 1 slab on the back of the tub to cover that area, and we're gonna put 1 piece here for a cap on the facing of this. Well, we're just making sure that there's enough mud behind here to hold this weight back up so it doesn't shift when we put the cap on. And if we use blobs of cement like this, it pushes out evenly. And a V-notch would be too thin of a bed to put on a big stone like this. 2, 3. That is on there.
That is beauty. Look at that, eh? Full slate. Isn't this gorgeous? And the other bathroom is unique on its own. They cut all the tiles. We see within this floor, it's 16 by 16 inch tiles. We see a nice pattern here throughout the floor. In the other bathroom, we got the wave tile cut design on the floor, almost like a template, stamped and installed. Man, this is nice, Dave. Did you design this?
This one I did design, yes.
Did you? Well, how'd you do that? I mean, did you just draw it out on a, I guess, as a grid pattern as to what you're doing, and then you did a stencil?
That's correct, Mike. I had a layout of this at work, so then I just take my pieces that we have there in stock and just create the floor and put it back together like a puzzle.
What kind of grout are you going to use here? What color?
Platinum gray grout.
Platinum gray, so it shows it. This is going to carry up the wall for the pedestal sink?
That's right, that's right.
Does the homeowner know about this, or she got an idea?
She has no idea what we're doing in here.
None?
None. Other than the color that she picked.
Okay, so we're going to freak her out.
We're going to freak her out.
Good. I like the black, I really do, and I love this edge pattern. It's just so different.
That's right.
Everybody's used to square or staggering, but this is unique.
We had 4 corners that were radiants like this in this house, and to try and get this stuff custom made, it takes a long time and it's expensive. So Keith had beveled all the baseboard, and then we sanded it down, got it in here, and then for the quarter round, they've got it available in this. It's like a polyethylene base quarter round, and as soon as you get heat on it, it's pliable. So that's how we were able to shape it. This particular quarter round is made exactly for that purpose. So when you run into areas where there's going to be shapes and shifts, it's just a lot easier to shape than wood or getting stuff custom made.
Keith is just a master carpenter, let me tell you. To do these round corners, he's got to take this trim, cut it in small angles, glue it together, and by the time he gets it in place, that's when he's going to sand it all down. And what does it do? Lo and behold, it creates a round corner.
What we're doing here is putting a threshold in this rear entrance, a rustic slab, and we're going to glue it down to the frame that we made. This is a big heavy piece going on a very solid area, and if we construction adhesive this down, the chances of it moving are slim to none. To you?
Me?
To you? There. Stick your finger under. How far is it? 1 knuckle?
Yeah.
We're done.
I'll tell you, I love working with poplar trim. It cuts easy, it looks beautiful, and what we're doing here, it really matches the look of the house. Keith is just finishing up the 3/4 round in the living room. Hey, no time, we're on the paint. I like it.
I tend to usually have this mix a little bit thicker than a floor, just because it sets up quicker. And I tend to slightly have the floor damp. That way I'm not getting grout sticking all over. It's a lot easier to control the joints when you're cleaning them.
I love my job. 2 separate bathrooms, 2 very unique looks. Awesome.
It's the day where 10 hours is hell. So let's get along. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. I do not want to damage these floors at all. And let's concentrate on working our way downstairs. So drop everything at this point downstairs. Let's everybody up and get it done, okay? Let's do it. Thank you.
If you look at this part here, you see how nice the circles are? They're cut out on that. You wonder how I got that? The easiest way to do this is to mark it from behind, because what happens in these cabinets is you have a 5/8 board all the way around. So if you try to take a measurement from the wall, then you get confused because you got to remember the 5/8 and whatnot. So the easiest way to do it is measure from behind, which I've done here. You see, and then I've marked it. So now what I'll do is I'll just pilot the holes. You don't want to ever push through from behind because you'll break the melamine on the front. So you just pilot it, and then you're going to come back in from the front this way. Now, if you were to try to take your measurements off of the wall, you know, you've got a 1/2 inch and you've got 5/8. Pretty hard to get an exact measurement. Whereas if you go from behind, boom, 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 and you can see that all the cutouts on there are dead on. So now this just needs to be secured, and we can drop the slate on. Replaced all this Tudor stuff that they had downstairs and went to that really lovely step bevel with the back band, and that's just enhanced the look of the house. Really nice clean lines, and has a really rich but soft feel to it. Those things are simple, but they're grand at the end when you see how they're finished. It just, the whole house is rich looking, and you don't see a lot of that. Most of the stuff people work with is, you know, lower grade entry level casings, whereas on this one here we went with a high end, you know, hardwood paint grade, and it has a really rich look to it, so we're all happy with it. This is the last piece of trim right here that actually Damon's working on, and that'll be cased out with the same step bevel and back band. And then that's it. And it should look nice. Okay, we're down to the final here, getting ready to install the slate countertop. A good adhesive to install any kind of stone countertop is silicone. I don't think it's a good idea to use PL Premium on this stuff because PL Premium is really rigid, right? Whereas the silicone has a little more flexibility and will allow some movement. And you don't want to just use any old silicone. You want to use something that's antibacterial and antifungal.
I've made a little template out of cardboard to avoid spatter. Tuck that in there. It avoids having to clean off the steps when I'm done. Just saves taping the whole staircase. There's a lot of spindles here. Try to keep it as quick as possible, so this is actually working really well.
We have a lot of things to paint here. So I'm just assisting Craig right now, trying to get this house done. I am using a straight brush on this instead of an edge brush, and the edge brush is for, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, really. But the straight brush, you can get a nice bristle of temp right against the wall. Like Craig always says, make sure you have enough paint on the brush. I'll start off away from the edge, and then I'll cut it in, get my bristles nice and straight, and then I'll cut it in against it.
Typically, we wouldn't leave a stairwell till the last day. There's so much traffic here. I'm asked to move every, minute, so it's a bit of a pain, but unfortunately it had to be this way. This wasn't prepped till today.
That's because we don't have a lot of time.
We try to bring everybody in at once and try and work around each other. Got a whole lot of painting happening here. My God, they're painting up the stairs there, the walls up the stairs, and got the rest of the guys traveling up and down, trying to get around them. So I kind of feel bad for the guys on the stairs because they're just moving left, right, and center. Stan and Dennis are just applying the thin set for the jambs, getting them in place. Wow, this place is really starting to look good.
We decided at last minute that we were going to install this new door that the homeowners had. It wasn't part of our thing, but we decided we'd put it in for them. Problem is, the door is nice and straight and square and plumb, and this existing jamb that was already here isn't. and it's out quite significantly. This side's not bad, but this side here from the top to the bottom drops out by about 1/8 of an inch. I'll scribe it from 1/8 from here, the bottom of this door. That's where it's out, that's how far it's out. 1/8 from the bottom to the top, not plumb. So now I'm gonna scribe the door to fit the jamb. And you know, when it's all painted up and stuff, it'll look fine.
We're on the cleaning stages now. We'll have everybody doing the mad rush to clean. And that's just gonna make our job a lot easier. Once it's clean, we give it back. Take long enough, eh?
You finished?
After you.
Oh my God! That's gorgeous! I can't believe this is my bathroom. Oh, this is our bathroom!
I think we're done. Hey guys. Take long enough, eh?
You're finished?
Yes, we're finally finished. What do you think?
We love it. It's beautiful.
Wow, what a difference when it's actually done. You know, it just works. You like the rads?
The rods are one of my favorites, I have to tell you. Those are the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
And the trim?
Gorgeous.
Love the trim.
Makes a difference. Now it looks like it should. This really represents your home.
Yes.
How many times do I have to see homeowners go through hell? And these people have gone through hell, you know. We've seen worse, but to these people, this is their home. They've spent 3 years on this in detail to get this done properly. However, it still failed because they hired the wrong people.
And this is the room that we actually ripped apart. This is where we found out that you had the heating lines in through the wall there, and we open it up and we spray foam that. How do you like your slate step there?
We love that.
Binge spent a lot of time on that, trying to come up with an idea. I had Dan, my plumber, put in a proper heating rad in there and just vent it. It works totally, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's we wonderful. Love the louvers. And it's a very effective way of just getting a little more heat near those doors. No, we're very
well, we want to keep heat at a window or at a door, so that totally works.
On an average day, we come in, we open it up, and we find a lot of things wrong. In this case, we didn't find too many things wrong. But the finish was terrible. It was terrible.
The stairs.
Oh, we love our staircase.
Doesn't that look good?
That looks amazing.
It just, now it shines. Before it looks so wrong.
Never let up your guard. You're gonna go to this extreme, each and every person that comes on this job site has to be thoroughly checked out, that they are the right people, that they are talented enough to do this.
I'm gonna show you the kids' bathroom.
Yeah, that's the one we're waiting to see.
Let's take a look. After you.
Oh my God! That's gorgeous! That's beautiful.
I like it.
Oh, I love this countertop.
This isn't our kids' bathroom, this might be our bathroom.
Look at the tub.
Oh, I know. That looks gorgeous.
They had a custom slate front on here, and it shows a diamond pattern to match the floor. Everything was custom fit. So they come in and measure it, and they give us custom cuts. It's full pieces. I just love that. Look at the border across the top.
There's no seams.
No seams.
That's excellent.
Oh my God.
It makes it quite unique. Hey, come take a look at that shower.
Oh my God. Oh, look at it. Oh, look
Isn't
at
that
this.
nice? Total custom design.
This is unbelievable.
Nice and simple. It goes.
This is a
like your lights.
designer bathroom. Oh, this is gorgeous.
Well, if you like that, we got more. Come on.
If you notice, this contractor finished everything themselves. They didn't bring in a plumber, a trim specialist, foam specialist for the garage. They didn't bring anybody like that. They did it themselves. It's no surprise it's not going to work. It's no surprise it's not going to be finished. You have to have the talent to put this together, to bring the people in and make this look the way it's supposed to.
Let's take a look at your bathroom that you haven't seen. Whoa. After you.
Oh my God!
It's beautiful.
Look at the shower.
The ceramic.
Look at the. Oh my God.
I love my slate guys so much that they wanted to do a one-of-a-kind bathroom tile So this was strictly designed for you, one of a kind.
I mean, we have 2 one-of-a-kind bathrooms.
Really? I'd say it is, personally.
This is to die for. I can't believe this is my bathroom. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, they did
gorgeous.
a beautiful job here. I like the, whatever that is, like a row of inlay.
It's just a border effect, which changes it, which cuts it. I like that.
I can't wait to get the kids in these showers. They'll go crazy.
I always say it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. We know who the ugly are. We know who the good are. The top-notch professionals, the guys that care, the guys with a heart. But in between those 2 spectrums, we have the bad. And the bad meaning, they don't mean to rip you off financially, but they don't care enough and they don't know enough. And that's exactly what's happened here. There was no caring put in here. There was no knowledge whatsoever.
That's too bad it wasn't done like this in the first place.
Well, yes, that is too bad.
Totally too bad. Then again, we wouldn't be here, and maybe it wouldn't be as nice.
That's true. It would never have been this nice if you hadn't. This belongs in a magazine. I can't believe this is our bathroom.
Bring in someone that can control the whole job. You really do need a general contractor on the job. One that's capable and talented enough to know from beginning to end.
The house seemed perfect for us. We weren't looking for anything that was wheelchair accessible at the time. Billy was unable to walk. We assumed that our contractor had some knowledge about wheelchair accessibility.
We judged that he would do the good job for us.
Unfortunately, things went a little wrong.
It turns out that he didn't have a whole lot of experience.
Well, I don't like it that we don't have a lintel here at all.
It was time to let him go.
They had to fire him.
Why does he have a Furco joint here? This is not good. That line better not be lying. Did the electrical get passed on this?
Apparently.
Are we leaking down here at all?
There's a little bit of water.
Oh, I'm standing in it. I don't like the ductwork. Why did he come through the wall like this? I've never seen anything like this with ductwork.
I believe there was a way to do it better.
We have water underneath the tub. Look at the water. Not to mention, look at the plumbing over the electrical. Holy crap. This is not going to be easy. Mike Holmes, look at this. Is that garbage or what? Look, you buggers, they haven't vented anything. This is ridiculous.
Everything is wrong.
I've decided now to gut it. Take it all down.
Mike Holmes, I love you.
Me too. You want a good job to keep you in shape? I'll be a contractor.
Unacceptable.
God, I love my job.
It was actually 9 years ago this week that we took possession of our house. We were a single couple. The house seemed perfect for us. We weren't concerned about the layout because we didn't know about the problems that we were going to face later, so we weren't looking for anything that was wheelchair accessible at the time. Billy was born 6 weeks premature, and he suffered a bleed in his brain at birth, which caused cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a motion disorder for him. He is unable to walk, so we have to try to make things a little more accessible in the house. He's getting to be a bigger boy. He's difficult to carry up and down the stairs, especially for me.
That's how the whole project started.
We got our contractor's name from a list at our local therapy center. It turns out that he didn't have a whole lot of experience, but he was certainly willing to try and work with us to accommodate the wheelchair.
Well, the basic concept of how we're going to renovate house was basically ours, and he was to execute it. We achieved our concept, but we never had the full expertise concerning wheelchair accessibility, and there's many problems with the quality of work, and that's our main concerns.
Rory, how are you?
Hi, Mike. Come on in.
Thank you. How you been?
Well, we're better now that we see you here.
Well, that makes me feel good. How you doing, Billy?
Bill, can you say hi to Mike?
Hi, boys.
You're fine?
Fine.
Very good.
It's Billy, our eldest boy.
Jonah, how are you?
Hi, Jonah. Oh. Okay, well, we're just going to go around and do some work. We're going to take a look at a few things, okay? Well, looks are deceiving, aren't they? It doesn't look so bad.
We actually like the way it looks.
Did he make the cabinets?
Yes, the drawer fronts were pre-made and then he made the cabinets.
It's not normal that we'd have the drawer so close to the bottom of the floor. We can see that the drawer is actually rubbing on the floor, which unfortunately is going to ruin the finish of your floor. And that doesn't help neither. There should be at least a toe kick on the bottom, so we want it up off the floor. I come back to looks are deceiving. Okay, the idea about this now is that we put up a 400 square foot addition on this part of the house. The bathroom, the idea was to revamp it for your son and turn it into wheelchair accessibility, is that correct?
That's right. We didn't have anything on the main floor here for him.
Can I see the bathroom?
Sure. Through this way. The floor in the bathroom is not finished yet, as you can see.
Well, that's not going to work. This is a half-decent quality vinyl tile. You see how you can see all the ripples through the floor right here? That's because he's tying it right over a thin set material. I can see that he's glued it down, but this will always pick up what's underneath it. So if we have the floor rough like this, that's exactly what the tile is going to do. Great tile job. That's nice to see. Have you used the shower yet?
Just twice.
Okay, have we had any leaks?
No problems yet.
Well, that's good. What's up with the tub here?
Well, the bathtub's a different story. This was all finished. We have used it, but the first time we put water in it, it dropped about 1/4 of an inch or so all the way around.
I would like to see a nice structure up underneath the tub to help support this. Is this where the taps were?
Yep, the taps were there, and we found we were having too much difficulty lifting Billy in and out of the tub.
So they were installed, this was completely closed in?
Yeah, it was completely done. The bathroom was supposedly finished except for the floor.
I don't like the way the insulation and plastic is on the back. I see a receptacle underneath this tub. That I don't like to see. All right, it is not live, which is okay. See how the plastic is away from the bat? That's just gonna allow cool air to come in and freeze these pipes if that wall is not insulated properly, and that is just not the way we do this. You do have a permit on this, right?
Yes, we have all the permits.
We have all the permits. Is everything passed?
I think ductwork, ventilation is not still outstanding, but the others have passed. Yeah.
So building structures passed?
I think he passed final occupancy, yes.
Well, that shouldn't have passed, because that vapor barrier has to be done to the floor with something that is going to stop all the airflow, especially underneath the tub. Okay, let me just look at the plumbing here. You made this easy. Again, drawers on the bottom. Why? Did you make these cabinets?
Yes.
That'll explain it.
These cabinets.
All right. You can see enough upstairs. Let's take a look downstairs.
Okay, go through here.
The basement is really for storage. It doesn't really look that bad. It's deceiving because it's leaking now in 3 different places, and that needs to be fixed. There's other problems in the basement. Well, that ductwork is shoddy. It doesn't look good.
Any of the other contractors that have been in to take a look have actually laughed when they looked at our ductwork.
Are we leaking down here at all?
There's a little bit of water coming underneath the edge of the underpinning.
Whoa, I'm standing in it. All right.
There was quite a bit more than that, but considering the cold weather now, it's kind of gone back a little bit.
You gotta love it. You hire a professional to come in, or a so-called professional, and you're leaking already. I don't like the ductworks. This is not, why did he come through the wall like this? Oh my goodness. We have a rim plate on the wall, so we carry it with joist hangers, which I'm fully fine with. So we have a rim plate against the wall, bolted in place. They drilled through for the duct lines. Now they've ruined the integrity of the rim plate holding the joists. Is that what this is supposed to be? A structural support?
Yeah, that's supposed to. This is supposed to support it. Yeah.
Unacceptable. And this is a way of tying in structure over the doorway? Unacceptable. Well, I don't like it that we don't have a lintel here at all. We know we have to cut past the joints to get out this piece, which is a nice clean cut they've done here. But this is a perfect location to put in that lintel that I'm talking about to help support the upper structure. This is not enough to hold this. I see no rebar in the wall whatsoever. And yet we have a piece of concrete holding floor structure up on the other side, bolted into an area that is nothing supporting it. This does not work for me whatsoever. So far, I mean, I love seeing the floor joists. This is beautiful. Look at the span he chose to use here. But to be so sloppy as to make it structurally incorrect. I always promote that you can't have enough references. And this gentleman came in with 3 pages of reference.
We checked out quite a few of his references. They all said his work was great, no problem.
You have the permits, you have recommendations. That sounds right. He sounds professional. Why not hire him?
He worked hard.
Is the contractor qualified to do the job? And what you have to look at in the references is what work they did. Is it just bathrooms, kitchens? Is it just a makeover, trim? Just because he knows how to do a bathroom doesn't mean he's qualified to do a whole addition. Why does he have a Furco joint here and here? What the hell? This is no good.
We had full confidence in him in the beginning, and then problems.
Disappointment.
This is a mess. That line better not be lying.
We just don't think that he had the skills necessary to do such a big job.
Did the electrical get fast on this?
Apparently.
There are some people missing a lot of things here. You can't leave wires hanging down over the doorway like this. The receptacle up on nothing here.
We let him continue working. We wanted to get the job done. We'd already put out all our money.
Elbows everywhere. It's not even properly tied in. They just use tape on the duct line.
As more and more problems became evident, finally we just decided that the longer we continue on, the more trouble we're going to be in, and it was time to let him go.
You have a bathroom down here?
We do.
I want to see how they tied this in, because this is not the way to do plumbing.
Ducts are partially run through the old structure.
This is a big basement.
That basement wasn't really part of renovation, but however, we had to put the duct through it.
They run a line off the furnace. We can see it. It's elbowed, comes over to a flex line, comes down through the ceiling, in through the wall. And why didn't they go right through the void? I've never seen anything like this with ductwork.
I believe there was a way to do it better, but I guess that was the easiest way to.
So he's brought this 3-inch plumbing line, it's the drainage line, down in behind the shower and cut into the floor. Can I see it?
Sure.
I take it you bought the house like this with the bathroom in this location?
Yeah, that was done already before we bought the house.
Well, I'm quite confident that this would not be allowed to be done the way it is. We have no room to get to the electrical panel. Well, you have mold on your lumber here. And not only do we have mold, we have water underneath the floor here, underneath the tub. Look at the water. Now, this could be because the tub is leaking, you know, who knows. Not to mention, look at the plumbing over the electrical. Holy crap. 2 shut-offs over the box. This is not a smart move to have this plumbing so close to this electrical. This is not going to be easy. Let's see. All right, let's go back upstairs.
It was very disappointing because, you know, we had the dreams of what we wanted for our family and for our son especially. This is the long term. We remortgaged our home in order to get the money to do this.
On top of it all, there's Billy. His routine has been totally disrupted.
We've put a lot of Billy's therapy on hold because of the construction. Now we're anxious to get back into our regular pattern of life.
Well, I'll tell you, folks, already I know I'm going to have to bring in HVAC specialists, electricians, plumbers, foundation guys. I haven't even seen the roof yet, nor outside. I want you to relax. I want you to start smiling again because I can already picture what you've gone through here. And I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. And I don't care what it takes. I'm going to give you your lives back, your home back, and give you what you should have had in the first place so you can enjoy your home with your family.
Well, you're a lifesaver. Don't know what we'd do without you, Mike.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
Okay?
We appreciate that, Mike.
I'll be back. We're gonna come in, we're gonna take a good look, make sure the plumbing's correct, the HVAC, the structure. We're gonna take a look at the foundation. We're gonna take the bathroom apart, only if necessary.
Especially.
Looks good, but looks are deceiving.
The entire renovation was supposed to take 12 or 13 weeks. Now it's 6 months.
It was harder and harder to negotiate.
He commented that perhaps we were a little bit too picky in what we were expecting. It was time to let him go.
I just want to see how this is all tied in. That figures. Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Not so bad. I hear you just got back from the hot sun.
Yes.
Well, I wish I was there. You're making me jealous right now.
Well, it was pretty cool when I get back to Saturday night, but...
Well, we're back to it.
Get back to it.
The foundation is already leaking. We can see how the hydro is tied in. See how they just draped it across the ground and then ran in right there and just filled with spray foam? That's not going to work. Taking a look at the window well here. It's a deep window well. So we're leaking from this corner, we're leaking from that corner, we're leaking from this corner where it ties in. So they did parge,
but no waterproofing.
So just the parge, and then they threw up the plants in.
This is very porous material. This will draw water in like crazy, especially if any of it's laying right up against it. And this is not going to stop the water from getting to it. Mike, maybe what we should do is dig a test hole.
Okay.
Just so that we can have a look and see what's been done or what hasn't been done.
I got a bad feeling we're going to be digging the whole thing. You want to take a look from the inside?
Yeah, let's have a look on the inside and see how severe it is. Can't leave it like this.
No.
No good to nobody.
Well, this is where they tied in. I got a lot of structural issues here. We're leaking in this corner. We're leaking in this corner. So the only thing I can think of is that the weeper comes through here. They didn't tie it in right. They had a blockage. Here it's coming up from the floor. There it's coming up from the floor. You can see, let's just take a look in the corner by the window well there. Here we can see that it was leaking from the corner. It is coming up from the floor again. So I can break up the floor so the next time you're here you can see that.
I think that's what we should do. I'm going to get a crew over here. I'd like to open up this corner here.
Okay.
Just to find out if the wall has been properly waterproofed.
All right, so it wouldn't hurt for me to break that floor?
Both places we're going to open them up.
Okay. John?
No, it'll be all right. Don't worry.
Don't know what I'd do without you, pal.
Don't worry. We'll get it taken care of.
Thanks. Anytime you do an underpinning on any structure whatsoever, it's required by code to do an interior weeping tile system. So, what they had to do was support the existing foundation wall, which is why they had to underpin, redirect the weeping tile system or the drainage around this property, now lower it down to the bottom. So what happens if there is no weeping tile here? And they run in a new weeping tile here, but where does it go? There's not a sump pump. There's no pit for the water to go to. Now, one thing's for sure, this concrete's done well because it's going to take me a little bit to get through it. What we're seeing here is not water actually leaking down the wall, but actually being absorbed up through the floor, meaning that this floor here and all the way around, wherever the weeping tile is flooding. Since this is the ugliest that I see so far in the ceiling, I'm hoping like hell we do not have to pull down the ceiling. Let's just cut a square in each angle so we can look in, drape up a little bit of plastic and cover this whole thing and try and keep the dust down. Right on the nailing edge. Let's see, paper barrier, good sign. Nice amount of insulation, good. That would make this cold. That's not good.
How's it looking?
Well, there's a leak already. Yeah, the new roof that joins to the house, I can see all the water stains. Hey, Benj, you see this area right here? Look at how the ripples are within. Like, that's not plaster.
It's almost like it's
got wet. And the skylights in the wrong spot. By plan, we see the skylight at the front. In this case, we see the skylight right here. I mean, it's not a big deal. Maybe the homeowner wanted a different spot. That's not what the plans say. It says it's a 3 and 12 slope. And I disagree with that. It's less than that. The real funny part here is that it's freezing outside. So we're not usually, when it's so cold, going to see water come in. So this tells me we have heat loss. And we see on the plans that we have flashing going right up underneath the siding here on the outside of the wall. It is supposed to be completely sealed here, and this is where it's leaking from. Obviously now, we're going to be going up on that roof and doing a thorough inspection on that roof. I can see this whole ceiling coming down.
Look at this, Mike. This whole, it's like they don't even have screws up here holding it. See it moving?
Yes.
It looks like this whole section right here. Look at this. No screws.
I think it got wet.
Is it dripping?
It's dripping.
This is a joke. Well, we now have ice buildup from the water dripping down. I'm also seeing the sheeting not extend right to the front. There's no plywood for 2 inches. I can see daylight, 4 different spots at the end there. Okay, let's just put the insulation back in.
Yeah,
tape up the plastic, keep the heat in here. We'll go downstairs and we'll just keep looking. This is nice to see. We see an SM foam underneath the floor, so this is going to give us a thermal break from ground temperature to concrete. That would explain why the concrete's fairly warm. We see the weeping system here does have a sock around it. I like that very much. The water's going in through the weeping and obviously flooding this area. It is then getting into the concrete here and weeping past. So this is the wet zone traveling into the concrete, coming up into the floor. So what we're going to do is just cut out the mesh. It's nice to see they did this. We'll cut out the mesh, pull up the foam, and take a look at how they've tied this in. Well, the weeping tile is supposed to carry the water, but for some strange reason, it's not getting out. It's bleeding back through it and coming up big time. Now, this is the winter. It's cold. What happens when spring comes and everything thaws? Well, I'm gonna have to break up more to the corner here and see more because there's a definite tie in here somewhere and that's what I want to see. From first appearance, there's nothing wrong with it. And why is it bleeding out? It shouldn't. So there's the existing footing right there. It is wet. Remember, on the other side of this wall is the tub. And I pointed out the water that's underneath the tub. Is it actually weeping through the wall? That's a major possibility in itself. So they did tie into existing this way, ran in a new one across here. There's enough gravel. This is really good. Why the hell is water coming back up through this weeping system? For now, I'm gonna leave it just like this. I'm gonna let John take a look at it, possibly call in a scope company and scope the weeping system to see what the hell's up. Scott!
Hey, Mike.
Thanks for coming so
No problem.
far away, let me tell you.
Not a problem.
What we have here is a 400 square foot addition. The idea was to move the kitchen out of that little room there, bring it out to here, use the bathroom as wheelchair accessibility for Billy and his bedroom up front there. But you're here today to take a look at how this can work for accessibility with the wheelchair, correct?
Sure. The design's good. in the fact that they reused the window openings here and made them doorway openings. They've got open space for ability to move around throughout here.
Take a look in the bathroom. 36-inch doors, I like that. I don't like what he's done with the vinyl tiles here, but we'll correct that. The countertop isn't that bad, but I don't think it's the type that we would use for the chair.
Even this countertop, the way that it's set up, they've used a semi-recessed sink, which is great. It's a real benefit for accessibility, but then they've taken away the benefit of it by putting it in an inset. If this wall were brought back, if that cabinet was made a little bit narrower and the sink itself sat proud, he could come in and even hit that at a 45-degree angle, no problem.
Moving that wall back kind of screws the shower setup. I mean, I don't think it was the greatest design in here.
You got a couple of issues as well with the floor. They've done a slope shower pan to a drain. I prefer to see it in the center because that way the floor is sloped evenly to the center. When your chair's in the center, it's level.
Not to mention, if he gets water, which I do see, this is not a watertight floor within this area.
Yeah.
It's going to penetrate.
And anytime you have a transition, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
You really should have a continuous floor through the whole area. A transition strip with a bit of silicone is not going to stop water from getting down in there.
I totally agree with you. All right, looks like I'm doing a total gut.
Holy crap, look at this. Not suitable for ceiling installations over tub or shower. Standing in the tub full of water and somebody comes up here, this is not CSA approved for over water.
The layout doesn't work for Billy in the chair. We don't have the proper room that Billy's going to need to maneuver, especially by himself as he gets older. The sink is fine, the cabinets are not. The wall's out too far. The floor is not watertight. It will get into the basement. It will create mold in the long run.
You do what you need to do.
I'm going to take it all down.
I think we're okay.
It just blows me away. I did not touch this vapor barrier. This is exactly the way it was underneath the tub. This vapor barrier should be down to the floor with a sealant across the floor. The bad insulation gives us an R value, but it does not stop airflow. What freezes plumbing is a cool breeze. Having to pull the tub to install it correctly, and after bringing in Scott, he's convinced me that the bathroom is just not good enough for Billy in his chair, and it makes total sense to me. So we're gonna gut it. We're gonna make a watertight floor. As you can see, we do not have any type of watertight floor. We say the old-fashioned way of doing this, the idea is to contain the water within and not allow it to get into the wood, not allow it to get into the drywall. By cutting it short here, what is that going to do when water penetrates underneath it? Is it going to bypass it? Is it going to get under it? I would have at least brought this out under the floor and done something, because this isn't going to stop any water. Whoever did the tile work was good at what he does. He's very consistent on all his grout joints. We have a couple of problems with this. It's over drywall, and it's applied with mastic. We're going to have a nice bathroom that isn't going to last too long, because it's going to start to mold. We're going to see it in the corners. I mean, does Billy need even more problems? Frank! How do you like this, pal? How do you like seeing that? It's not live, and I'm happy to hear that. But I don't know where it's tied into and whether or not it can be reactivated.
Holy crap, look at this. Not suitable for ceiling installations over tub or shower. Standing in the tub full of water and somebody comes up here, this is not CSA approved for over water.
It's gonna get worse than this?
This was passed. I'm gonna show you a few things downstairs you just may not like.
Here we go.
Now, you did a little bit of an inspection here?
Yes. This is the new panel they put up. This is 200 amps, so they redid a service here, no problem. I don't like this all bunched up here. That's not the serious issue. The serious issue here is that they ended up taking a 100 amp breaker and decided to feed this VX line, and they fed the old panel.
What does that do?
Basically, if I turn this breaker off, it turns off all the power going to the original panel, which is fine. The major issue we have here is grounding. As you can see, they grounded the new panel, which is right. Anything that comes from this panel on, you do not ground those again.
So they should have been grounded to here, is what you're saying?
Yes, it's totally done illegally. As we can see, there's yellow wires here, and they're supposed to be picking up our kitchen counter plugs. Now, if you have 12.2, it's supposed to be protected with a 20 amp breaker. Where do we find a 20 amp breaker? There isn't. They're all fused to 15.
So it's not just the ground. We have a...
No, there's no way that any electrical inspector could miss this.
We need a lot of patience here and a lot of aspirin. Thanks, Frank.
Not a problem.
Grab that side. Let's see if we can pull the whole pole out. Smash it. If you want to do it to save it.
Right across there, too?
Yep.
Do you think it's salvageable?
Well, we'll just put it aside and then we'll see later on if we can chip it off or something.
So what else have they done wrong here? It's already been bad enough. Our roof's leaking, our foundation's leaking, the bathroom's wrong, plumbing's wrong, structure's wrong, electrical's wrong. What else could go wrong?
Well, why stop there?
Look at this. Here's the funniest part. Why have we shimmed it down?
Look at this. This is funny, eh?
This is
I suck tape, 1,000,001 uses.
That's right. That's right. Tear down, man. We've got this whole bathroom. Now, one thing I checked on, Rob, was the inspectors passed the roof because they say there's nothing in code that says this has to be a flat roof. Torch down, procedure. It's shingled. You see the pitch of this? Yeah. I'm a little concerned with this here. See the flashing?
Yeah, very poor.
I can reach right in there, Rob.
This should be completely wrapped up and over.
I got nails. I'm feeling I can go right over the flashing.
It's an open spot here.
I can go right in the side. Oh, my God. Oh, that is sad. So I guess, Rob, it's safe to say this is not how you tie in a flat roof into a peak roof?
No. There's nothing stopping the snow from building up here and going right in.
I want to see how they tied the flashing into the flat roof. We can't see it because of the ice.
They might have just put some tar. This is bare wood, no caulking. It's a terrible flashing job. But this here is actually going back on an angle downhill. So if anything was to come down here, like rain, would hit this flashing and go back in.
We're leaking right here. Isn't that something?
We're probably leaking all along.
This is the second time this siding was installed. There was issues with it being just wavy with the wall. So they took it all down and they reinstalled it. I feel all kinds of drafts on the inside and it's just driving me insane. No caulking whatsoever around that door. Is this how we do this?
There's no caulking around the windows or anything. And over here, it's falling down.
Okay, Rob, you know what this means?
You gotta do it right. That's what it means.
What the hell? That's not even attached to the wall. Frank, welcome to our nightmare.
Yes. Tabs missing from the local utility.
I would explain why it's not attached to the wall. They opened it, pulled the screws out. I don't even want to mess with
No,
that,
no,
man.
don't shake too much because if there's screws in there, they'll be shooting out. There's 2 missing clips on the bottom, and this needs to be screwed into that wall. Now I've got to call the local utility in to have the power turned off because I'm not, dumb enough to try to put 4 screws in while it's live. So I'd love to check the inspection on this one.
We're going to. Let's go have a coffee. I need a coffee.
Sounds like a plan.
This is really sad. This is inexcusable. This is crap beyond crap. It upsets me to no end. Did they care? Well, they were here all the time. So they must have cared. Sorry to bring you out in the middle of winter here to have to do this.
We're going to dig a test pit all the way to the footing. But we want to see exactly what waterproofing is done on the wall. Look at the weeping tile, make sure that's proper.
But if you need anything, just call me, okay? I'll be on the inside.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, pal. Okay. We're half gutted. We've found a lot of problems. Let's take a look at how we do our heating system here. How we cut something in. I like that it's above the floor. The idea is that water cannot get in there, but this is not the way we do this at all. I have no idea what was in mind here. Is that cardboard? That's cardboard. We've cut all plates to run the vent stack. Instead of drilling a hole to run an 1.5-inch line, they've cut right through structure. This wall is completely flimsy. Now I gotta take this wall down. Why isn't this below the floor? What is it, because I see some copper pipes in here or something? Open it up downstairs. We've got a spaghetti factory of electrical here. Why isn't this a new line? They were licensed electricians. Everything I'm seeing is fairly correct. To me, this is just sloppy. This shower is going to leak into the basement. The roof is leaking into the kitchen. The basement foundation is leaking into the basement. So how many times should they pay? How many times should these people come up with money to redo this bathroom again, to redo that addition again? It doesn't make sense. But if you have any passion within your body and yourself, think of the kid. Dan the man, how are you?
Good, Mike. How's it going?
Nice to see you. We got a little bit of a job here. Coming to the area where the addition was done. I would love to take this all down, 24-inch door. Just blows, I can barely fit through it. Yeah. This is the area that the new washer and dryer is supposed to go. Don't ask me how that's going to happen because there's just not enough room. We see a Furco fitting, Furco fitting, Furco fitting. Like, why have this in there? It makes no sense to me.
How could you pass? Like, you could pass it. Is it braced every 4 feet? Yeah, it's braced every 4 feet, the water pipe. Yeah. So what?
It's a mess.
It's a mess, right? Mike, it'd be a pleasure to redo this whole thing.
That's what I want to hear. You want to see how this is run into the bathroom?
Yeah.
This was always a bathroom, and I suppose this was done without a permit years and years ago. I know for sure we're leaking under this tub because there's a pool of water within the void cut out in the concrete.
How do you see the water? From that side?
Well, let's go this way.
Oh.
I'll have you go in there first. Look at the plumbing over the freaking electrical plant.
Look at this.
Yeah, compression fitting.
Jeez.
So bend down, look under the tub, if you can get the room in there. You see the water?
Oh, yeah. I need half a day just to follow everything, because it's a mess right now.
And you know what? I can't leave this bathroom. Just for us running everything properly is the easiest way is just to remove it.
That's it.
Set up for a new design in here. Oh, God, we're going to be here for a long time.
It's a mess. I can't even follow some stuff. He's got like...
So he's dropped the floor for the shower.
Level with the existing floor so you can get the wheelchair.
Got about 1.5 inches out of the joist.
Okay.
I found a lot of this frost and whatnot behind on the wall. It was along the whole bottom here. So that's how far away you were from cold weather.
Obviously, we're just gonna have to keep going. Remove everything. Studs, all of it. Let's just go take a look downstairs.
All right.
I was gonna try and work around everything. It isn't gonna happen anymore. I wanna lose everything. I want all these walls down. I want all this bathroom completely taken down. All the ceiling in that area right down. Let's expose the main trunk light right across to the furnace. Everything from that door in there, lose it.
Well, Jack, you brought your helper Alan today. Well, you might need some help when you take a look at some of this work. We have about a 20 by 20 addition through here. The main trunk is located right behind us here.
Okay.
And he just tagged lines everywhere. I think you got a couple days work here at least. Let's take you into the addition and we'll show you a little more. First of all, he hacked through a structural member. Obviously, no planning whatsoever. Then it goes down here, and then it spaghettis again.
Down and up.
And something similar on the other side. Why, we can improve on some of this.
Yeah, that can be eliminated. Keep it above the ceiling. Reroute it. The best would be 90.
That's what I thought.
Jump back up if possible.
Yeah, around this cavity, all the way down. We'll insulate up in this cavity, all the way down, vapor barrier. And my other question is, like, their furnace is existing. All this was tagged off the old trunk. Right. So what you're doing now is what?
We just want to see the in and output of this furnace. Input is 90,000 BTUs and 68,000 out. So now we have to count the supplier runs that are coming off the furnace and see if it's sufficient.
Enough.
Yeah. Try to eliminate some of the 90s. Keep it to a minimum. Nice, straight, clean runs.
Nice to have a pro on board. Thank you.
All right.
We're looking at tar paper on the wall when I'd rather see a Tyvek or a Typar, a proper building wrap on the house. This is what they used to do years ago. We don't use this anymore.
It looks like when he built out the addition, he was short and then put the strapping on to make it flush. And that's why it's so wavy. That and they nailed it too tight, didn't nail it properly. On the other side, he actually put foam insulation up to here.
We can see that?
Yeah, right there. Never did the rest of the wall. It was like to maybe show the customer here, I'm putting the insulation.
Look at that.
Brought it up 1 foot and then nothing.
Why? Why build it out? He could have went right to the sub wall, couldn't he?
On this wall, yeah.
All right, let's go up to the roof.
Well, the snow's melted.
Well, it's a nice day today. I think we're lucky on this one. Look at this. Now that we see this melting away. Yeah. Look at the ice under it. So we're gonna pull the roof. We're gonna pull the flashing.
We got the wrong vents, wrong skylight on the roof.
Why are the vents wrong?
Well, they're for a pitch roof.
They'll leak on this slope.
I mean, they're okay up there. Not here. They've got a good curb mount skylight, but then they never built a curb. They put it like a surface mount.
I'd love to see a roof mount at least this high up, maybe even higher. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this isn't leaking downstairs. Look at the pitch. Look at the pitch. Incorrect pitch. Liquid tire again. This is supposed to be under the shingles. We want to see that cut right around here.
And it's got to be leaking. It just hasn't shown up yet because everything's frozen.
Well, if this one's wrong, this one's got to be wrong. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's the insulation. They've used this as a roof vent. That's for an exhaust fan.
Yep, they messed up.
I can't believe this isn't leaking buckets of water in here.
It's got to be leaking. It's just not showing up yet. All these are leaking. They got to be. 1, 2, 3 vents, the stink pipe, and the skylight.
This is about the most waste of $70,000 I've ever seen.
You couldn't show more done wrong in one area than what we're looking at.
This contractor states he's never had a complaint in his history. This homeowner's too picky, is what he said. I really don't think this is malicious. I think this is just straight out, they don't know. That's all right, eh? Heat up that pile with that metal pipe. What that's gonna do is keep this pile of dirt from turning into a big pile of ice. Very smart. Not to mention when we get cold, we can step over there and warm up. So, where do I start? We now figure out why they put up the 2x2s on the wall. The actual addition now is built over top of the cinder block wall incorrectly. It's too far back. The idea is to bring the wall out past that so now water drips down on this side of the foundation wall. Not to mention, tar paper brought down to the bottom. Oh, look what I see. proper building wrap. That'll be for the floor joist. They brought it up onto the sheeting, which the sheeting should be down to here. They brought it up onto the sheeting, which they're supposed to bring it up underneath the outside plate and back up on the inside. That's why we can see the building wrap on the inside of the house. This makes the inspector think that they've done the proper wrap on the outside, brought it up inside, so now he thinks, okay, everything's fine. This grade is a nice slope in towards the house. Snow is already up to here. This will never in a million years stop water from coming inside your home. This would explain why the foam is now on the bottom. I don't believe it went all the way up. I believe he just pieced this in because the sheeting does not come down to the bottom. So they've added foam right across the bottom because the sheeting does not come down to ground. Not to mention the door. There is no screws whatsoever in this door. What's holding the door? We know a whole lot of air's coming in at the bottom, at the front, at the sides. That we know. Look at the hole over here. Look at this void right here that I can stick my hand right in. This was filled with paper towel. Paper towel. They're down to the footings. You can see the weeping tile. It's nice to see the weeping tile with the fabric over top of it to keep the dirt out. We can see that they put up the dimpled product, which is great. The only problem is they forgot to do one thing, waterproof the wall.
If this gets perforated at all while you're backfilling, there's nothing protecting the wall at all. When we do it, we prime the wall, then we put a Hydro Shield rubberized membrane on it, we put a glass fab mesh, and then we put one more coat of Hydro Shield on it, and then we put a vapor barrier over top, and then we put the dimple board. The drainage board should be higher, but as you can see, it's below grade. This should be 3-4 inches at least above the grade level. When the water builds up, it's gonna pool. If it's not above, it just goes right behind it and right into the house.
There's Billy. How you doing, buddy? Have a great day at school? The whole idea of this 400 square foot addition was not for a lovely kitchen, but hopefully to get one, but to make it bigger for their son, for Billy in the chair, so that he had room to maneuver. I'm 3 days in. This is 10 times bigger than I first expected. These people do not have this kind of money. They don't have it. We're talking now $100,000 worth of work. If it was summer, I would rip this whole thing down and do it again. She's crying inside. I'm talking to her. Tears are coming out of her eyes as I'm telling her everything that's wrong here. Everybody's dropped the ball here. The contractor from the beginning, the inspectors. Just open your eyes and look around. Make sure you check things out, because you know what I've always said, the only thing that's there to protect you is a permit. But in this case, they're not protected. In this case, it's all wrong. Can you imagine when spring comes and all this ground thaws and everything thaws up there? Can you imagine how much water's going to be inside there? Can you imagine the mold within the walls? How do we do this to people that don't deserve it? Every day, these two beautiful people have to deal with their kids, which we all do, okay? But Billy's getting older and trying to make his life easier within. That's why they did this. That's why they've gone to the extreme of putting up $70,000 worth of an addition. But what kind of hell are they walking into? This is just the beginning, and I'm ready to take it down. There is no doubt in my mind this is going to cost more money to fix this than it did to put up the addition. I feel sick. It's all come down. Everything here is all wrong. We have compression fittings on the drains, compression fittings into the existing bathroom, which is supposed to tie into the laundry room. Electrical nightmare absolutely in here. I mean, you come in, you pull it out, you do it right. I'm taking this panel out. We're gonna run everything to the other panel. There's no way this should have stayed. Now I can take the bathroom and put it in the corner. We're gonna actually cut a path from the drain on that side right over to this side and bring in a new stack, probably on this side of the window, so we don't have all of this running to the ceiling. We wanna eliminate this. And more than likely, this contractor didn't look at it. But what kind of contractor is that? You want to know everything. Why is there mold in the corner? There's no doubt in my mind he's been in here because he's tied in all this plumbing. This is all being cleaned out, all being done again. There's nothing else I can do with this.
What we see here is actually the water that's getting past the shingles. Squish it out. Just due to the shingles being installed on too low of a slope, the water can track across, get beyond the roof. The only thing keeping it out right now is this ice and water shield, which is a preventative measure, not a waterproofing technique.
Added vapor barrier on the outside of the wall due to a cutout of the tar paper. Never put plastic on the outside of your home. What this is going to do is trap moisture. Even in a small area, we can see moisture is already building up here. Proper building wrap on the outside, not vapor barrier. That's for the warm side. On the inside,
We have a very big problem here, Mike. When they did the footings on this house, it was almost like they dug too deep and then they just spread the dirt around and then they poured their footings. So what's happening is the ground is actually settling, and when it's settling, it's taking the back of the house with it. You can see these cracks that run all the way down the wall. 3.5 feet away, you have another one that's exactly the same. That runs all the way right down to the floor, right down to the footing from the outside.
This means we're sinking right here?
Yes. The foundation is not strong enough. It needs to be underpinned.
You gotta be kidding me. We gotta break open the floor and underpin this wall.
Yep.
That wall?
The whole structure this way, both sides. If we don't underpin it, it's just gonna keep sinking and sinking and sinking. All the wood, everything upstairs is just gonna keep stretching and moving.
All right, you got this side dug up. We have to stop.
We have to stop out there. We can't do anything because we have to excavate the back of the house now to see exactly how bad that is. And that should tell us how far this way we have to go with our underpinning. It's only a matter of time before it gets worse.
And we have an issue with the corner.
Yes.
I can see that right now. You're telling me this is gonna continue to sink?
Yeah, it's gonna keep dropping. Every time it thaws in the spring, it's gonna pull it down, all the water. It's like they dug too deep, and when it came time to do the footings, when they took all their measurements, they just kind of spread the dirt around. It's not packed, it's not solid. 2 hours in here with the tamperer would have saved all this problem.
One sad spot to another. Now this is original. Never in my years have I seen anything like this.
No
Drywall
no
up
curb,
over the roof.
No curb, nothing.
Benji, this drywall comes 3 inches up over the roof.
Wow.
Put your hand over it.
That's
drywall.
funny. I can see it from here, yeah.
It's not gonna work, no?
Well, it's just a surface mount skylight. What we'll do now is build a proper curb. Now we got a proper curb mount, skylight for it. Flash it in properly and put our roof on. Did you see what we found here? Is that just floating over the edge, the perimeter?
Well, yeah, they built out their framing and they got an end rafter out here and obviously cross bracing across because it's out over top. It's an overhang. They're too low. So they didn't bother to nail that down.
We're gonna have to pull the fascias off it. We'll take a look at this, see if we might have to correct the whole side here. That is incredibly wild. Just use a 2x4. That would explain it. 2x6 rafters, 2x4 outside plate where you can see the cross bracing in. We can see how it sunk down. Because it sunk down, they didn't nail to it to try and make the roof look nice and true, which obviously it's not.
What have they done here?
What the hell is that? Is that their nailing edge? That's not gonna work.
He missed his rafter. He didn't want to put in another rafter at the proper edge and then laminate it properly so we could see with the moisture that completely twisted and warped. Man, how far do I have to go? All that's gonna do is pop the drywall. We can only see that it's already pulling it up.
Let's rip the rest of it up while the sheeting up in here on the side.
Okay. What the hell?
Well, we're gonna rip that other side and we check it out anyways and see what's on the other side. Mike, got a minute?
We have snow inside.
We got a lot of snow inside.
Well, how do we have snow in there?
Well, the gap. Remember we stuck our hands underneath here?
It blew under it.
Yeah. Driving wind, snow.
Now we're gonna open this up?
Pull this up, yeah. Got it. We got snow everywhere. That's all snow all the way along. They never flashed it properly.
Look at the... Oh,
yeah. There's shovelfuls of snow in here.
Can you believe this? We have snow inside the roof. And look at this. Here's the ceiling of the house. Here's the drywall.
No insulation. Look at the heat loss within the kitchen itself.
That's unbelievable.
You know what? Sean's at the store. Let's get the sheeting up as quick as we can because I think we're gonna find more things.
Okay, boys, let's rip this up.
I think we have a problem. That's the ceiling joist. Every single one of them are like that. They've now twisted over.
Instead, they didn't put no blockers or nothing.
That's right. So now they've just warped over. The drywall ceiling's being held by nothing. We got to drop the ceiling now.
Up to this point here where they're running flush, why don't we cut from there and remove the twisted part and then reinstall those properly?
Because on the span of 10 feet, we need to structure the ceiling. We cut that, we have no support.
Jesus, you're right.
We got to drop the ceiling.
You're right.
I have never seen a roof like this in my life.
These ceiling joists are supposed to be tied into the end here, right into the rafters, right across, because this carries the drywall, okay? So if they didn't put it in anything, these are going to twist. So they're nice and tight at that end, but as soon as they come here, they come off. And it's only because it's not tied into the rafter. What's going to happen is they're going to continue to tilt, pull the screws, the drywall falls. That would explain why you're ceiling under there. Remember you said,
yeah.
What's the matter with this?
What's wrong with the ceiling, yeah.
Man, we're gonna make a mess downstairs. We'll have to send them out of the house for a day. Drop it, clean it, put it back up.
Bit by bit, we have found one hell of a lot of problems in here. Let's start from the beginning.
We had no idea how serious it was. No idea at all.
Leaking roofs.
Oh, there's a leak already.
Leaking basement.
Whoa, I'm standing here.
Cracking walls. Barely 6 months after erection of the building. I still cannot understand how so many things can go wrong at the same time.
I'm a little depressed right now. At the beginning, I knew it was going to be bad. To my surprise, it was 10 times worse. We pulled down the bathroom upstairs. We pulled out the bathroom downstairs and all the walls, the electrical, and we're about to do the plumbing and everything else. We pulled the roof today. Now I have to pull the ceiling in the kitchen because the ceiling rafters are incorrect. In all this time this house has been up, there's been a whole lot of bad people in here. And well, what's bad? You know, what's bad? Bad guys, rob banks and hurt people. But these guys are hurting these people here, aren't they? We have a family living here, and I'm trying to work around them. I talked to Lori today. I said, is there any way you can get out of the house for 24 hours so I can pull that ceiling? We're gonna have fiberglass in the air. I don't want you and the kids in the house. She started crying. They have nowhere to go.
Hey, guys. How are we doing today?
Hi, Mike.
Let me tell you what I found so far. Bit by bit, we have found one hell of a lot of problems in here. Let's start from the beginning. The foundation. We now have to underpin this wall down here and this wall across here simply because it's sinking down and it's breaking all the cinder block. Gonna have to revise the permits just for the underpinning before we can actually do a watertight sealant on the outside. So that now has to be on hold.
There's not just one thing wrong, but virtually everything. And as Mike is exposing these things one by one, I can see the problems.
Is the contractor not caring? I really don't think so. I think this is a simple case of not knowing, and by far not knowing. This is not little, this is big.
You had snow inside the roof.
Inside,
yeah. You had a whole lot of snow up there, especially on this side. There was no insulation whatsoever across that wall.
Well, that will explain why it's so cold in here.
We ended up stripping it all off, and we're going to redo it and tie it all back into the flat roof. And I'm still not done yet. So let me tell you something here. This turned from approximately $40,000 at the beginning, and I thought it was going to be to a $100,000 job.
It's scary. We've already remortgaged our house. That'll be for 20 years. We wouldn't be able to remortgage it again. So where would the money come from? We probably would have lost our house. We would have lost it.
I brought in all these people for a small job. Really, that's what I thought. It's not that big. We can fix it. Now everybody's going to spend the next month here, and they're going to have to make up the time. And they're helping. They're donating their time and their efforts to help this family. But they also have lives. They also have other business to be taken care of. I've asked them to come in and do a little bit of work. But as we take it down, it's not a little bit of work anymore, is it?
We saw some leaks in the roof and we saw a leak in the basement. You think, oh, well, those are fixable. It's going to cost some money, but it's fixable. But we had no idea that it was this bad.
Keep your chin up. We're going to make a hell of a lot of mess in your home, but we're going to fix this.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Okay?
Thanks, Mike.
Just keep it together.
Thanks.
Don't worry. It's a matter of time now. 3 weeks, we'll be out of here. But it'll be right, and it will be safe. Going to be a lot of people throughout your home in this time.
We're enjoying the company.
All right, I better get back to work.
Okay. It was actually 9 years ago this week that we took possession of our house. We were a single couple. We weren't concerned about the layout because we weren't looking for anything that was wheelchair accessible at the time.
How you doing, Billy? The whole idea of this 400 square foot addition was not for a lovely kitchen, but to make it bigger for their son.
The bathroom, the idea was to revamp it for wheelchair accessibility.
That's right. We didn't have anything on the main floor. It turns out our contractor didn't have a whole lot of experience.
The layout doesn't work for Billy in the chair. We don't have the proper room that Billy's going to need to maneuver, especially by himself as he gets older.
You do what you need to do.
I found a lot of this frost and whatnot on the wall.
Even though it doesn't really look that bad, it's deceiving because starting from the basement, it's leaking in 3 different places.
Whoa, I'm standing in it. Why the hell is water coming back up through this sweeping system? I've never seen anything like this with ductwork. I take it you bought the house like this with the bathroom in this location?
Yeah, that was done already.
We have water underneath the tub. Not to mention the plumbing over the electrical. Holy crap. I want to lose everything. I want all these walls down. I want all this bathroom completely taken down. Electrical nightmare. I'm taking this panel out. We're going to run everything to the other panel. Now I can take the bathroom, cut a path from the drain on that side right over to this side and bring in a new stack so we don't have all of this running to the ceiling. We want to eliminate this.
We have a very big problem here, Mike.
Cracking walls, barely 6 months after erection of the building.
We can see that they put up the dimpled product. The only problem is they forgot to waterproof the wall.
And we have an issue with the corner.
Yes.
We now have to underpin the foundation.
There's other problems, leaking roofs.
There's a leak already.
I still cannot understand how
you had snow inside the roof.
So many things could go wrong at the same time.
You couldn't show more done wrong in one area.
I have never seen a roof like this in my life. This carries the drywall. So if they didn't put it in anything, these are going to twist. Pull the screws, the drywall falls. We got to drop the ceiling. You're right. I brought in all these people for a small job. Really, it's what I thought. It's not that big. We can fix it. But as we take it down, it's not a little bit of work anymore, is it?
We had no idea that it was this bad.
Just keep it together,
Thanks.
Don't worry. It's a matter of time now. 3 weeks, we'll be out of here. But it'll be right and it will be safe. We're going to fix this.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Mike Holmes.
Look at this. Is that garbage or what? Look, you buggers, they haven't vented anything. This is ridiculous.
Everything is wrong. I've decided now to gut it. Take it all down.
Mike Holmes, I love you.
Me too. You want a good job to keep you in shape? Be a contractor.
Unacceptable.
God, I love my job.
Looks like it's clay. It's not corrugated as the weaving tile here is.
Right. I don't believe have a problem here because it's all new. I believe it's existing, and nobody's ever looked at that. For it to weep up through the floor tells me it's not getting out.
Not leaving, that's correct.
The problem is it appears the water's just sitting.
Yeah.
No, if it's all on level, which is possible, we're gonna have pockets of this. So far, no blocks.
You shouldn't see that, the clay tile, the edge of it.
Okay. Just looks like a poor joint, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it looks like a poor joint. Yeah.
Okay. This doesn't look good. The
Appears to
clay's
be
broken.
I can see gravel.
You're at 14 feet?
From the entry point.
Do we see any type of blockage? It doesn't...
No blockage yet.
At least it's not collapsed. Now, if it's broke there, odds are we could be broken a few different locations, and that's making me nervous. We can go to the extreme of fixing all this foundation, but if it doesn't weep it out, we've got a big problem. To dig all the way around the outside of this house is ludicrous. It's just too much money, so I'm just gonna have to make a call here. Maybe we can now run it this way and run it that way and check the existing. Let's just check out the rest.
Consider it done.
Thanks, man. Great.
There's a lot of water sitting in there also.
Man, I'm sorry, man. This is a nightmare for you. I know it is. I've cut the floor to this area here because what I envision is taking this area because of the window and turning this into the bathroom. So to me, I can bury a stack in here, pick up everything else off of this. Can we move this?
We're breaking the floor, we're moving stuff, we can do anything now, Mike.
Get it in against the wall. The panel's going, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just in an awkward spot. If we can get in against the wall, it would probably be better.
This ABS line here is the laundry tub and washer.
Okay.
And washer.
So let's talk to Lori to see if she wants to bring the laundry room downstairs, and we'll build her a laundry room, eliminate all this crap.
Yes, it's all done wrong. Another thing I want to do, Mike, is I want to call the city to shut it off from outside and change that valve coming in.
Okay.
Because I think
Is that the old valve?
It
Yeah.
is. Look at that.
Okay.
It's passing too.
What do you mean it's passing?
Water's passing through the valve when it's closed. It's not
So it
it's not
doesn't shut
holding.
off?
Yeah, it's not holding properly.
Okay. You'll take care of that for me?
Yeah, no, I'll take care of that. It's no problem.
Whatever you want broken, I want you to bring Damon down here and say, break this for me.
Okay.
I don't care if we got to pull up the whole friggin' floor.
Okay.
I know it's a pain, and you're just going to keep going on this one.
Well, the captain needs not apologize for the storm, Mike.
Hey, that's pretty damn good. Thank you, sir. So whatever he needs you to break. I want to find out exactly what size we're going to do for this bathroom so we can pinpoint where we want this stack, and it helps him tie into the existing up here. We're going to have a stand-up shower stall, toilet, and sink. That's it. So I'm thinking with the shower stall, we're going to probably have a 36 by 36 neo angle. Right. And we'll do everything custom upstairs, but we'll keep this simplified down here just to keep the cost down. No problem. I want this all down, insulate everything well up there, and then reframe it, okay? 7 feet out. We'll go, I think it's 8 feet. About 8 feet at this point.
There's a bend right there where it was just taking a bend. You can see that they had just bent the drain as opposed to using a fitting, a 90-degree elbow, because ideally you want it sitting on the footing. And when you use a gentle bend, you're taking that corner and it's not sitting on the footing anymore. It's out in the excavated area, so there's a chance for it to move. But when it's sitting on the footing, it can't drop.
So far, this section is the best.
Oh, we got to some bigger object blocking entire pipe.
Oh, there we go. Look, it's running away. Look at the water running. Something was creating a dam effect in the weeping tile, and pushing the camera through sort of knocked the dam over and let the water drain back out, and that's why we're seeing the water moving in the drain now. Where we are right now is right under this floor here, and we're 9 inches below the floor. What we're seeing here is a T in the weeping tile. You can see that's a connection coming on and attaching onto the drain. Oh, that's where the water is draining out to, it looks like, going down that drain.
So guys, what did we find?
What we found on the weeping tile going towards the middle here is that it comes to approximately this point and then goes down the middle of the house.
Were you able to follow this down?
We were only able to get to this point right here.
Okay,
there's a T here on that weeping tile. There is a T here.
I wonder if that's to do with the furnace.
Yeah,
no, that shouldn't be tied into weeping, but
no.
Okay, Mike, thanks, man.
You're welcome, Mike.
Again, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy.
This is definitely where you get into the messy work. We have a mountain of dirt down here. It's what it takes to do it right. Obviously, we didn't want to pull out everything, but unfortunately, there was so much wrong, and we want to address the drains. As soon as we opened it up, we found that we had illegal piping within the floor. It requires 4-inch underground. They had 3-inch, which tied into the 4-inch.
What I'm doing here is I'm cutting actually all the plumbing in the house except for the powder room and the upstairs washroom. I'm taking it back from a clean piece of pipe. The first and second renovation they haven't touched yet. So I'll take it from there and I'll just replumb the whole house.
Okay, let's hope and pray that nobody friggin' flushes the toilet.
Yeah. Should we really be removing everything in the basement, going new again? The answer is yes. So for $70,000, you have to have the ability to say to the homeowner, well, you want the addition, I understand, but we should be taking out this bathroom. We should be inspecting everything that's been done, because first vision that I came down here, I knew this bathroom was done without a permit. You can't just quote an addition. It's tying in, it's a retrofit. We're tying into existing. What do we have to do to existing to allow the new addition to come in? You're gonna have to take it upon yourself as the homeowner to ask questions. Yes, we're putting on an addition. How does this affect my existing? Does it affect the furnace? Does it affect the plumbing? Does it affect the electrical? These are things you're gonna have to ask. Now, a rule of thumb is to take your estimate on construction and add 15% for extras, for unknowns. So if you only have the 70, obviously you're gonna have to cut down on the new that you want to put in and allow a little more for things just like this. So it has to be discussed from the beginning.
There's 2 cents. For what I might pay for the day.
It's a good thing that we came in and we were able to bring in a lot of people that would donate their time, services, as well as some material to help this family out. What would this cost to rip this all out and do all this? You're talking $20,000 to pull down the bathroom, cut open the floor, re-root everything, and then finish it. This is why it's very wise to educate yourself as to what you need. Otherwise, you're gonna have this, and a world of hell to follow. What the hell? That's not even attached to the wall.
Well, now I've got to call the local utility in to have the power turned off, because I'm not dumb enough to try to put 4 screws in while it's live.
The one thing I checked on, Rob, was the shingles. You see the pitch of this? I can reach right in there, Rob.
This should be wrapped up and over.
Oh, yeah.
There's shovelfuls of snow in here.
Good call pulling the sheeting. Now, this is not standard. You put a protection board down, and then the first coat, and then the second coat. So we actually have 3 layers on this.
Yeah, basically what we do first is we just run fiberglass paper and then the fiberglass protection board. That's to prevent setting a fire to the nailable surface.
Is what it is.
Yeah, fire protection board.
It's not like you can't go right against the sheeting, could you?
You could. I mean, in new construction, that's done quite often, but it is
a risk.
Yeah, a great one.
Burn the house down.
Exactly.
What's on the side here?
What we've done first, actually, is embedded our flashing plies up underneath, and they actually wrap over.
So we're not going to allow any snow in now.
Exactly.
How about the tie-in here? I am a little worried about this.
I noticed that the water was bleeding out of the old roof.
In the near future, the homeowners here will have to be looking at a full replacement of this roof, because even what we've done here is not permanent.
So it's a temporary tie-in until they can afford to do this side?
Exactly.
How long do you think they have on this side?
Maybe a year or 2 max.
Well, I'll make sure I tell them. 2x10 curbing. That's the way it should be, pressure treated. Now that you have the granulated layer going up, is that good enough, the membrane that you have?
No, we're gonna two-ply the flashing around the skylight curb as well, prevent the UV from getting at the membrane.
So we have to worry about the sun actually hitting this stuff?
The base ply, yeah. The sun will eventually just eat that up.
So the granulated is really the protective layer on top.
Yeah.
If we had it like that, the water's going to lodge right here, like. We got air, steam it all is going to get inside, right? So this way, it just flares right off. What I'm going to heat it up, right? Like this, with the torch, go along the line, right? And then take it like that, and you got to do it like that, right? You just can't do it like that, because if you do, you're going to have a pile of it over here, right? So you just sort of wiggle your trowel, right? Along like that, right? Then just do it like along the line there, right? All the way around. Yeah, because when you heat it up around again, like, you know, when you get it all degranulated, you just put a bit of heat around here, and it just puts the rubber right through the granules, right? And that way you get a better seal.
So we'll go do some amp checks and disconnect the service in the junction box.
So what we're doing is we're putting this on amperage.
There should be no load as we pull the meter.
Because it's an old hydro system, it's not marked. So we're taking one leg off because we got 0 amps on it. And my partner's gonna go over to the meter base and make sure that one leg is off.
Yeah, one's off.
Okay, so we got the right service.
So now it's totally disconnected.
Check here, 0 volts. 0, 0, 0.
So we're safe?
Yeah.
Excellent. I thank you. We'll get this done as quick as possible, and we'll turn it back on.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tap guns here. Hey, look at that. It's only going to go in so much, and then it doesn't even hold it. That's why we're seeing so much flexibility here, because there's no thread holding it. The threads only go halfway up the screw. Not things to use here. Yes. Noggin.
$239, $240, $121, $121. It's ready to go back on.
That's it. Power's back on.
You guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Keep up the good work, eh?
Yeah.
Excellent. He's at 0 at that side, and he's in 3 inches at this side. So he's completely unsquare with the floor joists.
So you're just talking about the sheathing right here. That's got to come here.
We got to bring it right down so he's got a nailing edge, so you'll have to build that out.
All right, and it looks like these have to come off?
Yeah, and if we take those off, we have an issue with the structure of the door. We may have to put the door in, so you make that call as you pull it all out and see what this is. I'll get Joe outside to take care of the electrical.
Yeah, disconnect that.
It'd be nice if we had a bead of caulking down here before we put up the foam to seal it.
All right.
All he's got is screws within the hinges. I think we're gonna have to put the door in because we're gonna have to pull off the bottom, build it out so we're perfect with the sheeting, and I don't see how we're gonna win with this door. I mean, we're already don't have the strength here. Here, you know what I mean?
I know.
Pull the jambs and the casing off this door. We're gonna pull the door. I don't have a choice, and we'll get Ed going.
Okay. Now this guy was a real patch him up guy. Patch.
This is a joke.
Jesus.
Nothing here is done right.
You know what he's done? He's done another build-up, Sean. You can see coming down here. Well, I guess he figured he wasn't going to put any screws in his jam, so he might as well load it up with the caulking, eh?
Yeah, caulks are from the inside, but not the outside.
Yeah.
Well, we can always slip in plywood there and build that out.
I've never seen a door hung so poorly in my life. I can tell you I haven't.
So what do you think? Do we have to underpin this?
I don't think so. I think the problem here is just that the wall has no waterproofing on it. When it gets cold, all this masonry down there is getting frozen. When the ground heaves, it just pulls the structure with it.
Great day at school?
When we first bought the house, the layout was fine for just the 2 of us, but when you have a child with special needs, then there's another consideration. We were really dreaming of this new space for us all, and it looks like it's going to be taken care of, but I hate to think of what would have happened had you guys not come in to give us a hand here.
James, you ready to drywall, sir?
Yes, we are.
Actually, what I want to do is I want to build a bulkhead around the room and take the pot lights and put in the bulkhead, and then we'll do a nice center light, put the ceiling fan over the table. Are you just working out the material list?
Yeah, I was working that out with Sean. I think we got everything we're going to need. We're going to map it out because we don't know exactly where all our pots are going to be, so we can situate our butt joints away from that.
Okay. So let's take a line right around the room, 16 inches off the wall, and let's use a razor knife, cut it. Let's not cut the vapor barrier. We'll get that drywall and pop it down. We'll cut the vapor barrier just this way so we can tape it well and pull all the insulation, get new rafters in here, and build this bulkhead today. Hopefully, you know, we have no problems. We get everything back, all the electrical, and James can drywall it all. None of these ceiling rafters are at all square to the kitchen addition. I can work with it here. Here's where we're gonna remove them because they've tipped over on the edges on the other side, and we will replace them. Nothing but a pain.
See down at the other end, they got them sitting flush, and by the time he gets down to here, his rafters are running across. He dropped them to compensate.
That's why he's dropped it to compensate.
That's how the whole addition's been built that way. From the ground up. The minute they laid the shovel in this ground, they were wrong. He did this all by eye. You don't want to just tear this whole house down?
It's too late now. We already put on a new roof. Let's clean it up and we'll take a second look at this. Well, if I'm out an inch on 4 feet and this is 20 feet, that means it's out a lot. You know what this means, eh?
More work.
All the ceiling rafters are coming out now.
Well, I kind of figured that.
Cut the corners. Take it down, please. We purposely pulled down the drywall so we could straighten the rafters at this end. Everything that tied into the LVL beam has warped over on that side because it wasn't tied into rafters, which is your roof rafters. We want to see our ceiling joists tie into it so they don't warp, which is what they've done. The whole ceiling's unlevel both ways, this way and this way. So my dilemma is, do I just put in new rafters here and then re-drywall over it? I can't. I'm thinking about dropping it. Adding more insulation, taking out all the pot lights so we have no heat loss whatsoever, building that bulkhead around the room, maybe doing a double drywall. This way we don't lose anything. What we do is we put up our vapor barrier, we put up drywall, build all our bulkheads to drop it all down and put our lights within that zone. Now we have no heat loss whatsoever. Hell, I'm this far. What's it gonna take to do other things? So let's just get right on it, pull out the rafters that are twisted, go new. Let me see, that's what I want to see right there. See how it's tied into that rafter? Everyone that's not is, you can see it. Look how bad this one is.
Yeah.
Let's try and true things up if we can, get a level up there, true edge. I'm gonna accept the slight unlevelness because we'll level the bulkhead, but let's go for trueness. So if we've got to take some out, let's take them out.
You're gonna accept unlevelness from the mighty Mike Holmes.
Sometimes we have to go with it.
I've never seen anything like this. I think like a first-year apprentice could have did just as good a job as whoever did this job.
Hell of a lot of work just to fix. What we have is the ceiling coming into the beam in the center, unlevel into it, and unlevel this way. I'm limited to how I can correct this, so I'm looking for trueness, square, and I'll solve all our problems. We'll be properly insulated, better lighting. As we replaced them, we made sure we tie them into the rafters and screw in. The ones that were not were the ones that actually tipped over and started pulling the screws out of the drywall. Does not work. Benji had a good idea. He said, let's just drop the whole ceiling, tie it into existing, and we can get it perfectly level. I agree. Problem is we have a nice high ceiling here. So to drop the ceiling sort of defeats the purpose of having a high ceiling in the first place. So with illusions that we can create, which is the bulkhead, and will be level, perfect all the way around, it will hide that it is unlevel, but we're looking for trueness here. Unless I just take the whole thing off and do it again. But how far have we gone on this one? Extremely far. So sometimes I have to bend a bit. I hate it, but as long as I can create it to look right, then I'm happy. 7, 8 days, and we've done a lot of work. We're trying to take care of structure, electrical, plumbing, and then start finishing. As well as we got to get them a kitchen to use because they're home. They can't use the fridge, they can't use the stove. We got to plastic it all up to keep the insulation and all the dirt in the air from getting to the kids. It hasn't been easy, but a little bit longer, we'll be done, and their lives are back to normal. Okay, Jack. Mainly what I'm looking for here is to run everything properly. Okay. So we've got to get the 2 for the basement down there. We're going to have to now put heat in that bathroom.
There's a washroom here.
No, that's going to be the washroom.
So
We've moved it from here over there.
Okay, so 1 heat run for the washroom. We'll cut in off the main trunk. Eliminate this, run separate heat runs to the back room instead of teeing off here.
Now, I'd like you to go through the floor joists.
Okay.
So whatever direction you need is to say, okay, I need this opened up.
All right.
Just mark it with an X
fixed, and I'll have a guy on it right away.
Okay.
We're going to restructure this wall with a 2x6 wall to pick up the floor load, so we're going 2x6 right across.
Straight across.
So you're better to come straight through here?
So we'll just have one angle boot and straight across, so there's no 90s.
Which is better for us.
Which is excellent.
That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Shouldn't take long, maybe a day.
Okay, we'll start right now. We're gonna work our way back.
Kid stuff?
Yeah, no problem.
That's why you're here. Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you. Corey, good morning, sir. What time did you get here?
7:30 this morning.
7:30, you're halfway down.
Yep.
Man, this is a mucky job, eh?
It's pretty wet down there.
I was supposed to have this all foamed yesterday when they're pulling out the door. Now I've ordered a new door. I guess once we get down so far, we'll pull out the plant and take a good look.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come up with some sort of idea on how to watertight that around that electrical.
We're gonna have to drop the grade a little.
I can agree with that.
There's actually water dripping in off the rafters from the ceiling in the basement.
There is? Off the rafters?
Yeah. Well, it's getting in behind the electrical.
And dripping through?
Yeah. We should be able to have it backfilled by today, too.
Really? Mm-hmm. So we have John coming in and take a look?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do we have to underpin this?
I don't think so. I think the problem here is just that the wall has no waterproofing on it. That wall is probably soaking wet and drawing in water. When it gets cold, all this masonry down there is getting frozen. That's when you get a little bit of heaving because the ice grips the structure.
Okay.
It draws that water in. And that's what transfers frost. If you keep it wet all the way down, well, every night it creeps down a little bit further, actually catches the structure. When the ground heaves, it just pulls the structure with it because it's frozen to it. Like that's why all the waterproofing membranes are very slick, almost like an oil paint finish, so nothing sticks to them.
Well, this is a great example as to how important it is to make it watertight.
Oh, absolutely. You just keep drawing it in, and it falls to the bottom block. Goes from one block to the next block, which is below the basement floor. You don't even notice it. Then all of a sudden one day, oh, geez, there's water coming out on the floor. The blocks are full of water.
So for the first time on this job, it sounds like we're going to get lucky.
I think we're going to be okay here.
You made my day.
Well,
again, thank you
no
so
problem,
much.
Right now, priming the wall has to be done first so that when we apply the Hydro Shield rubberized membrane, that it sticks to it. This should have been done in the original stage of the building, but I guess they forgot. Then we put a glass fab mesh, one more coat of Hydro Shield, a vapor barrier, and then we put the dimple board.
Okay, now we got our line starting to run in. We're almost halfway done. What we got is a separate line to every fixture in the house. We got our hot and our cold lines. Basically, this is a Cadillac of plumbing system. So what this is it's like almost like a breaker panel, electrical, but for a plumbing system where if you have a problem with one line to any fixture, it will be labeled. I get asked a lot, why do this? It creates more of a flow. There's no T's, no 90s, no restriction of flow, no couplings even. The only joints are that joint there and the joint to connect to the faucet. In between, it's all one straight run of half-inch pipe. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna run another line. We're gonna do the hot in the basement in the shower right now. We're gonna bring it along and we'll tie it in. It's starting to put copper to shame because it's so easy just to bend around and fish it through stuff. The only thing you gotta watch with this stuff is that you don't kink it, because if it kinks, you'll see, that's it, you're done. You can't reuse that. So that's the hard part about this. You gotta run separate lines to everything, but if you're halfway through and you kink it, then you gotta take it out and run a new line. I haven't kinked one yet, though, so. I'm sure if you look down all these lines, it gets pretty confusing. I'm confused myself at times, but every line that I run, I connect, and then I write it on there what it is, or else if you got 3 or 4 lines ahead of yourself, you'll be lost. This is a very expensive system to do. Lots of pipe, very time consuming. I mean, this is what they do in, 7,000, 8,000 square foot houses. Is it overkill for this house? Yeah, it is overkill for this house, but you know what? These people deserve everything. I ran it through Mike. He wanted me to do it. He said, go ahead, Dan. And now what we have here, we brought the line down to the manifold. We're gonna tie it in now. These are real tight bends here. They're very easy to kink. So we're gonna use this tool here. It's just a spring. And, it's gonna be very hard to kink it. Now we're just gonna line it up. Ream the pipe. What that does, opens up the inside, makes it a perfect 1/2 inch inside diameter, so it slides on here easier and you don't have any burrs. So you line it up, get our crimping tool. It's set. When it presses down, it compresses not to crush anything, but at the same time to compress this aluminum O-ring onto the pipe. Now it's compressed and I could pull as hard as I want. It will never come out. Now I gotta write exactly what that one is, which is the shower basement. And we go on to our next line.
All the different types of concrete out there in bags are fairly the same product. So as long as it's a pre-mix, is what this is, has the proper ratios of sand, cement, and stone. So you really can't go wrong doing it that way. It's not like I can call in the concrete truck to bring it in through the window. I can't, so we're gonna mix it. If you do put in too much water, it'd be wise to add some more concrete mix to it, because what you're gonna get is an improper cure. That's what we don't want. We want everything to cure properly when it comes to concrete. If it's too thin, add some more. Do it quickly. If it's too thick, same thing, add more water. And the idea is to make it milky but not too watery. You can see that on top here, just as I screeded it with the 2x4, in other words, leveled it with existing, you can see that it's still slightly thick within there. That's what I'm looking for, that type of consistency. Not too thick, not too thin. It's almost like making cookies. Almost. The taste is totally different. You'll find coming back, Des, is what you're gonna wanna do.
Into it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Until we've filled it so far, that's how you're gonna see what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
How did I do this?
Yeah.
Skiing.
Not contracting, not with a tool.
No, my pride hurt more than time.
I believe it.
That's right.
Just keep it as clean as possible. There's your 2x4s riding on that. Every once in a while, give that a whip. What Damon is doing is applying the bonder to the concrete, and the idea about this is joining the two concretes together. It's another important issue whenever you're doing concrete. It just allows the concrete to bond to the existing. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to take an extra week. The job has more than doubled on this one, but I need, at this point, another week to get this job done. You know, it's shameful to see it now climb to approximately $125,000 worth of work. You put up an addition at 70 grand and $125,000 on top of that to fix it all. Lori, Jenny? It's almost as if we have taken your whole house apart here, I'm telling you.
Don't worry, we like it, don't worry.
Beautiful people that do not deserve this whatsoever. What would they have done? The roof's leaking, the foundation's leaking. The last time we talked, we were going to underpin all the foundation. We knew we were digging up on the outside. It came to the point that we did not have to underpin. I was very happy to hear that. Foundation crew has redone the foundation, so they dug all the way down to the footings, they inspected the weeping tile, they put up a waterproof system on the wall, and then they put the planting back up again. We ended up taking, obviously, everything down here. We put up a whole new plumbing system on the wall there. It's just a wonderful product, and this way, each and every line that runs off that is right direct to a tap, to a shower, so you can individually control it. So what this does is pressure balances the whole home. By the time we're done, that's going to run everywhere. Moved your bathroom from this area. We are still going to be framing your whole basement for proper insulation and vapor barrier. We are going to have to carry the load of this floor. This has been compromised due to all the holes knocked into it. We found that we had to pull down the ceiling in your kitchen because all your ceiling joists were tilted over. They were all done wrong. Once we really pulled everything off and looked at your back door from your kitchen out, we realized there's a 2x4 door. In other words, this door is designed for a 2x4 studded wall, not a 2x6 studded wall. We removed it. We got you a 2x6 door, a brand new door, so we'll be installing that for you. We are now, instead of using siding, we are going to use foam and stucco on the outside of your house. We're trying to solve the problems of the foundation being lower than the grade in the backyard.
I never expected it to be so bad, you know. Some people might do better job than the others, yeah? And you might sometimes put up with a somewhat lesser degree of quality, but I never expected we ended up this way, no.
By the end of this, you're going to be smiling. I'm going to need another week with a lot more manpower, and we're going to make it right for you, and your lives will be back to normal, and Gracie and all the other kids are going to have a lot of fun here.
Well, thanks so much.
This is the old foundation, and there was no steel lintel in here, so now we got a lintel on this side and a lintel on this side. If this concrete cracks, this is going to take the load. This won't come down on your head. A1.
We've removed all of the old 2x2 framing that wasn't continuous from top to bottom. So we're going to put in these 2x4s. Now in the other room, we're not actually going to touch anything in that room, so I've just added some construction adhesive to this side of the 2x4, and then I'm going to put it in, toe screw it down through this plate here and this one up here, and then the glue will adhere to the drywall and we don't have to add any screws to the other side.
The original door was made for a 2x4 studded wall, and we have a 2x6 studded wall. We're putting foam on the outside. So this is designed for a 2x6 studded wall. It is actually 8 inches deep. So with our drywall finishing board on the outside and foam, everything comes to the outside jamb, and that's exactly what we want here. So we're just going to slip this one right in place. We'll shim it, get the door handles in, the hardware, and we are ready to go.
Okay here, got lots of room.
Now, if you notice, I'm keeping the screws in place at this point because this keeps the door square and true.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, it does. So we'll just slip some shims in right now. Okay, that's good.
Keep coming.
Yeah. Okay, let's take the level of that jam here. Okay, go out on the top. A little more. Whoa. All right, let's get shim in the center of the door there, right at the hinge. We have Ed and his crew coming in to do all the foam and stucco today. If you notice, the bottom piece already looks like it's finished. This is considered a starter strip. We want to make sure that it's wrapped up 3 inches on the back side. That protects the whole bottom from frost in the future. I see this 9 out of 10 times not done this way. Even at the joins, Ed has put in a mesh, and the idea for the mesh is to seal the 2 joints here, and he's going to bring that right up across the top. He is going to mesh everything. That works out perfect for the door, eh, Ed?
Beautiful, just the way we planned.
Again, starter strip against the door.
Again,
We want to make sure that's all the way around. You're going to use a concrete board at the bottom.
If you kick it, if there is a styrofoam, it might get damaged this way, it's solid.
So how long do you think this is going to take you?
Today we have another couple hours. Tomorrow we'll put prep coat and the fiber mesh.
Do you think we're going to have to tarp this in?
We're going to have to tarp from the fascia and bring it out about 4 feet, 5 feet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of your path and let you continue. This is one mucky day out here.
Just got the city shutting the street off, and usually they don't wait around, but they're being really nice. So I'm trying to get this main valve on as quick as I can so I can get some water in the house again. So Lori and the kids have water. We called the city in. They shut the water off from the street because I wanted to replace this main valve we had here. It's a 5/8 service, which is a very rare service right now. Only the older homes have it. So we called the city and they shut it off from the street, and then we cut in a new valve. And now this is going to be our manifold system. And this is just feeding the house right now temporarily.
Well, we're putting on a sunroom today. Well, not really. We're just putting up, actually tarping the whole area so we can get 2 heaters in, one on this end, one on that end. The idea is to make this area hot to do the stucco on the wall. So the difference between the standard stucco and this product, it's more adhesive, correct?
It's 100% adhesive and waterproof too.
Waterproof, fire rated. Not only that, we can now create with it, not just do your standard stucco.
In this case, we're going to match the front entrance of the house, the stones they have over there. We'll try to duplicate here on the back.
Beautiful. Now, I know it's rather cold today. What's the temperature you need to use this product?
It's +7, +8.
So we're going to warm it up real nice.
Warm it up.
Exactly. Okay, let's do it. Let's fire it up. That's gonna work. Amazing what we have to do things, eh? The guys have been working like crazy to get this bathroom drywalled, have the concrete board up in the shower stall. So object today is to get all the deter down on the floor, the curdy within the shower stall, the watertight system that I want, and we're going to actually make this floor watertight. So if they ever flood this, it's not going to be a problem other than it running out the doors. So we have to think of this because Billy's sitting in here in his wheelchair and the shower head and the wand. We're going to get water on the floor and then pulling him out, it's going to drip off his chair. So it's make it watertight. We've reduced the wall back, which gives him a whole 5-foot turning radius. We brought out the wall here. It's going to serve to give a ledge here for shampoos and stuff. And again, he has the radius to turn around and lots more room.
It's gotta be a right timing when we're gonna cut this material, because if it's too soft, you see the imprints from the level and the material drags after the knife. You really have to feel the material when to do the cuts.
I mean, what a difference using the trim, eh? Does that ever make the window stand out? At the bottom, you got this beautiful bone nails that drips down. We'll caulk this all closed.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
And it makes the job look good.
Well, I'm not gonna get in your way. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have a base coat on, which is a light coffee color. Now we are adding different colors on. This is the plum color. We'll add a little bit of gray and maybe a little bit rust color. Once this thing dries, we have to put the coating sealer. Almost done, yeah. The first coat is the primer coat, and the second coat is a stucco paint. Once we are finished, a bit of caulking, it's gonna go around the door so that any moisture doesn't go in. In the grout line, it's outside paint, and still we're gonna seal on top. It's gonna be a light gray to match the grout lines on the front of the house that they have a real stone.
Winter's back in, Mike.
Back. Should have brought my skidoo in. Okay, so we're gonna go underneath it because we have the room.
Yeah.
And just make sure, please, that we get all this completely sealed in across here around the door.
We'll get that all caulked up around the door.
He's already got the soffit going on the other side?
Yeah, they're putting it in. Once we get the soffit up in the fascia, we'll start on the siding here, and we'll hang the trough.
Hey, Rob, what does this do? Does this also prevent icicles?
Yeah, you still will get some icicles, but more importantly, you're not going to get the heavy load of snow and ice in the gutters where it can sag your gutters or eventually rip them off, clog up your elbows, close out the seams in your pipes. So that's one advantage of it. It's designed for keeping the leaves, debris, pine needles, and everything out of your gutters. The snow and ice thing is just an extra bonus.
And the idea is once the water comes down off the roof, it actually feeds it right into this zone here?
Yep. Works on the principle of surface tension.
Very smart design. I noticed you capped the ends so we can't get critters in there.
Exactly.
I love the new stuff that comes out.
Well, in this case, we're doing something a little extra for these people because, you know, all the hardships they've gone through, and I wanted to do something a little extra for them, and that's why we're doing it here.
Downspouts next, and you're done, eh?
That's right.
Thanks, buddy.
My pleasure.
Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. And so do these people. Getting this studded for us.
Yeah, I'm just finishing it up here.
Just make sure we insulate the corner before you put in your two pieces.
For sure.
It's very important. You're doing good. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
So you're just getting ready to hook everything up now?
Yeah, just transferring over, Mike.
And you're just getting rid of all this plumbing in front of the electrical?
Yes, yes.
You're the man.
Finally. And then after over here, I'll make like an 8x10 sheet with plexiglass, and it'll label each one.
You are the best.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, Kellen. I love the way we're adding color. Let's tone down the floor and more white, less color in the top area. So go ahead, team. You're doing good. Thank you. We're just gonna get ready to drill all the pot lights in. What we have within the bulkhead is we are drywalled and completely plastered in, so we have a fire stop. And the reason I chose to bring the pot lights down into the bulkhead was it gives us a nice effect within the kitchen, as well as we keep the heat source below the ceiling level. We don't lose heat into the attic. I want to make sure they're balanced from the wall to the edge, so I'm going to be directly in the center. I want to make sure also that we do not hit the metal channels coming across. I'm locating them now. That way I can determine where I'm going to put my pot lights, like one over top of each cupboard where they've gone down, two that should be independent above the window here, and just nicely balanced in between, and the rest I'll just try and create a path that gives good looks, maybe over the doorway. By using the hole saw that he has here, we have a perfect hole, and we never make a mistake with our pot lights going in. If you notice a lot of the pot lights out there, they cut them with a drywall saw, and it's just such a rough edge that it shows. So we want it neat. If you notice, we waited till we painted, even though we're gonna do a second coat on this, and that just gives us a nice finish.
You're allowed to have 12 items on a circuit, meaning anywhere from a switch to a plug. Can't exceed 12. This is a line voltage pot light that we're putting up. Same thing, if it was low voltage pot lighting, it's still considered as one item. So even though it says low voltage, so you can exceed the 12. This pot light here that we're putting up, you can see here, this black cylinder thing here, it's a safety device. If the pot light heats up, that will shut it down. It'll help reduce the risk of a fire, and the other ones will still be working. When this goes up, you're gonna see this part here of the can here on the drywall. And these two clips that are here is basically what holds the pot light up. So you basically, the drywall's gonna be in between here. What a lot of people don't realize when you're putting in these pot lights, these clips that I'm just tightening up right now, a lot of people like to ream them tight. And what would happen is those clips are gonna break. So all you need to do is just snug them up. And as you can see, it doesn't go anywhere. And that's the pot light.
Okay, Joe, I've marked off the rest of them, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go check on the guys downstairs. Lori, Jenny, it's time. So we're getting to play here, eh? Now this is interesting. We took out the old mural that was on the wall, and then I brought in guys to actually create a mural. So bit by bit, we're gonna see this appear.
We're just finishing up the installation of our portable ceiling lift system.
This system will pretty well get you anywhere you want to go.
And there's no strain on the mother.
Lori, Jenny, it's time.
You're getting anxious here.
Well, this has been one hell of a lot of work. I keep wondering why I do what I do. This is why. The look on their faces, what they've gone through.
I love the light, yeah. It matches these ones perfectly.
I may complain that this is nuts and I've got to stop this, but I can't stop this. I feel good today. I feel really good helping this family.
It all looks fantastic. The lighting is really nice, and the ceiling looks great. We love it.
That's what I want to hear. Yeah. From a $70,000 addition to a $125,000 repair, things that I saw here just made me fall over, which leads me to downstairs. Why don't we take a look downstairs? If this was the spring or the summer, I would have ripped that addition right down and done it again, and it probably would have been easier for me to do that. Well, welcome to your future laundry room.
Ooh, nice.
I gave you a little storage room, bought you a couple of stands.
Get a little more organized around here.
Yes. This is now your utility room. This is where your bathroom used to be.
Right.
We brought in a whole new system. This is a pressure balance system. The electrical panel that was here was now rerouted to the new one on the other side.
So there's nothing here now?
No, it's just a junction. This is a total legal junction. We've had the inspectors come in and pass absolutely everything we've done. We have the government inspectors that come in to make sure the structure, electrical, plumbing, HVAC is all correct. Unsquare, unlevel, sloppy crap. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with safety. They're limited to what they can do. I think they need more power. I think they should be able to take bad contractors and bring them before a judge. Now, I do have a present for you because I was told that this was your bathroom downstairs, your little getaway zone. Please. Let's go to that door right there. Okay, Gannick, this is a special treat for you. This is a simple bathroom.
That's nice.
Oh,
I
but
love
it's
the tiles.
brand new. A little bit of color choice.
And I'll have a window now to outside. Yeah, it's great.
What was this family going to do that didn't even have the money to do the existing addition? It wasn't something they wanted to do because they just wanted a bigger room on their home. It was something they needed within the family.
You guys were doing some heavy work here.
And what makes me really sick to this point is knowing that this contractor is still working on more homes. We have a hell of a lot of bad contractors out there. They don't know enough and they don't care enough. I don't ever want to see this again. And it's all passed
This is
properly.
fantastic.
It's great.
All right, let's go see what I really want to show you. So this time, after you.
Wow. Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow. Oh, Billy's gonna love that. All the kids will love it.
I knew we had to get a fish pattern in there. Brought in some specialists for the tracking system. There's your on power. And we'll go down. So it's nice and gentle, so there's no jolting whatsoever for Billy. I called in everybody. John McRae from the foundation. Dan, my plumber, has been going 3 weeks straight, hasn't stopped. Frank and his boys moved the existing panel back into the new one in the back room, rewired everything. We brought in Rob from Better Contracting to take care of the roof, which was a joke and a half.
We could only dream about a system like that for Billy.
Ed and his guys doing the foam and stucco. You got Craig coming in here painting. You've got, we've got everybody in here doing so much. Like I'm totally in debt to these guys for stepping up and helping this family.
Well, we love it. And we know you and your crew have gone way above and beyond any call. And we're so pleased. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you.
Hey.
We really appreciate it.
You want to see if he's going to like this?
Sure.
Let's go get him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to see?
I got a surprise for you, Billy. You're excited, aren't you?
I'm excited.
This is your new bathroom, Billy. How much do you like? Is that a lot? That's a lot.
You love it?
Aww. I'm glad you like it. You gonna give me a hug? Oh, thank you so much, Billy.
Boy, Billy.
Thank you so much.
Boy.
tell you.
Got a lot of hands to shake here today.
Take care, buddy. Look at them all. Absolutely great job. Listen, great service.
Right on.
Hey, see you soon.
Okay, buddy.
Take care.
Drive safe, Mike.